All right, guys. I was just too excited. I was just too excited. Absolutely had to click the go live button now. There's just too much going on. We got fantasy football news breaking left, right, and center. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to enter into the DraftKings $333 tournament. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to chat a bunch of free agency while we wait for this to fill. The DraftKings 333 is kicking off now. But man, do we have a lot of news to break. I mean, so many things have gone down in the last 90 minutes. I suppose let's go ahead and start with probably the one that is nearest and dearest to my heart. Kenneth Walker has signed a 3-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. I've had to put on my Patrick Mahomes Kansas City Chiefs jersey. So let's just look at it this way. What does Kenneth Walker do for the Kansas City Chiefs? Why would the Kansas City Chiefs decide to give him this much money? And I think the reasons are, basically, I would say the reasons are twofold. And by the way, huge shout out to our friends over at DraftKings for sponsoring us here for all of these free agency programs. Make sure that you guys are getting in over for the early bird best ball play for $1 million in prizes. Come on, guys. You know, you're smart. You're smart, ladies and gentlemen. You know. So, Kenneth Walker, for his career, does only average 4.3 yards per carry. Does have what you would say is a very middling success rate of 43.5%. But the biggest difference between Kenneth Walker and what the Kansas City Chiefs have had in their backfield is going to be all about breakaway rate. The Kansas City Chiefs have been the worst rushing team in the NFL in terms of breakaway rate in each of the last 3 NFL seasons. Kenneth Walker, yards after contact average, 3 yards per carry last year. His breakaway rate, 36.3%. I mean, this is just very funny. Let's just go look at the Kansas City Chiefs. So let's go, hold on, Kareem Hunt. What do we think Kareem Hunt's breakaway rate was? So Kareem Hunt was the leading rusher for Kansas City last year. He had a breakaway rate of 8.3%. 8.3% for Kareem Hunt last year. Let's see. Let's check on old Isaiah Pacheco. What do we think Isaiah Pacheco's breakaway rate was? Isaiah Pacheco breakaway rate, my God, 3.5%. 3.5% breakaway rate for Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco's career high in breakaway rate, 20.1% for his career. I mean, this was the worst. This is the worst run game in the NFL. I mean, they were able to generate some rushing statistics as a team, just because of the existence of Patrick Mahomes and because Andy Reid is a pretty good coach. But if we go look at some of the advanced metrics, so in terms of expected points, the Kansas City Chiefs actually generated the 6th most expected points via the rush last year. However, a lot of that was, it was Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes was one of the best EPA scramblers in the entire NFL last year. If there was a way to isolate this to just the running back carries, it would be way, way worse. Ben says that signing Walker and letting both cornerbacks go was the wrong move. I gotta say, I just disagree. I just disagree, Ben. No, I love the fit. I love the fit. Now, do I think that this was the greatest use of the Kansas City Chiefs capital to sign Kenneth Walker? I mean, I don't know. Like, I just know that there was no way they could go into the 2026 NFL season with Brashard Smith, re-sign Isaiah Pacheco, and then they had to do something. Now, if you offered me the two options, give Kenneth Walker, I believe it was $27.8 million guaranteed, or alternatively, draft Jeremiah Love with the 9th pick, I don't think it is even close. You definitely would prefer to spend the free agency money on Kenneth Walker as opposed to spending the 9th overall pick. I think, see, I just disagree with this. I would disagree. I do not think that keeping the defensive pieces and drafting Love for cheaper than Walker is correct. That Kareem Hunt is gone. Kareem Hunt is a free agent. Isaiah Pacheco is a free agent. So those dudes are gone. They are gone. So the backfield is going to be Kenneth Walker, The backfield is going to be a little bit of Rashard Smith, and they will probably draft someone on day 3 because that's kind of what they do. I mean, maybe they will bring in Sean Tucker. I'm not sure. Now, this is exactly how I'm going to treat it. This is exactly why the Chiefs did sign Kenneth Walker. They are going to give him all the goal line carries. I do think they will probably play him quite a bit on third downs. The Kansas City Chiefs cap situation is so dire that they would not have made this move without the need for a player like this. And as Kyle makes the point here, I know don't pay running backs is the meta, but I fail to see what player you would only spend $50 million on per year would make a bigger difference. Now, for many teams, this is not true. For bad teams, I don't think this is true. Should the New York Giants have paid Kenneth Walker? No. Honestly, should the New York Jets even be paying Breece Hall whatever they're paying him? Like, probably not, but it doesn't matter. However, you guys could just watch the Kansas City Chiefs play. They just were so unable to ever generate any explosives running the ball. What did you want them to do for a team? Maybe not even for all good teams, but for a team very specifically like the Kansas City Chiefs that can generate a positive passing offense with just by the existence of their quarterback. I think you almost had to do something like this. Now, would I maybe have spent this money on Tyler Allgeier? Would I maybe have spent this money on Rico Dowdle instead? I mean, yes. If Brett Veach would have put me in control, I probably would have spent this money on Rico Dowdle. I probably would have spent this money on Tyler Allgeier. And in fact, we have got some reporting on this. So Tyler Allgeier did sign with the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, we're gonna get to all these deals. But guys, please fill this 333. Let me message Sack 333. Let me put it in the Discord so that everyone knows. Because we gotta be getting after it. GM. Yes. So I don't know. I guess if I had to summarize it this way, and I guess I will, because I think that this is clearly the biggest deal in free agency. Kenneth Walker signs a 3-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, sets himself up to play about 70% of the snaps. There's no meaningful third down back on the roster. Kenneth Gainwell, one of the other third down backs, already signed. We have seen guys like Kareem Hunt and then Damian Williams, Darrell Williams, anyone with a bell cow role in the Chiefs backfield has been very useful for fantasy. We just have not gotten very many bell cows because the Chiefs have not spent free agency money or draft capital at the running back position. In this case, they spend the money. He's going to be their highest paid free agent. I think you're just really going to want Kenneth Walker on your fantasy football team. I think it's really about that simple. Yeah. Running back 6, 1-2 turn. Yeah, that is right about where I would have it. And in fact, I just got done building a new rankings tool. So why don't we just come into this rankings tool and you guys tell me. So I'm thinking Kenneth Walker is going to go from all the way down here. And this is just the Fantasy Pros expert consensus. I'm thinking right about there. So you got your first round: Bijan, Gibbs, Puka, Chase, JSN, CMC, St. Brown, Lamb, Taylor, A-Chain, James Cook. I actually would probably go London, or I'd probably go Walker and Genty over London. I'd move Neighbors down. This is not ADP. This is just what the Fantasy Pros expert consensus is. Bang. All right, Sack is in for the 3-3-3. So let's see how many left do we need? We need 8 more. 8 more. Put out the bat signal, boys, for this 3-3-3. So yeah, that is right about where I would have, 12, 13, 14, somewhere kind of in there, kind of depending on what you want to do. I think you got to move him ahead of Amari and Hampton. I think that's the line. And I think we have more breaking news on the timeline right now. People are saying that, wow, holy smokes. I'm flummoxed. Travis Etienne Jr. has signed a deal with the New Orleans Saints. Quote from Adam Schefter. He's from Louisiana, and it was important for him to be near home. So first off, Bichel Tootin, wherever you had Bichel Tootin, it was way too low. Bichel Tootin is absolutely to the moon. Wow. I mean, Bichel Tootin, God, I mean, are we moving? So Tootin, I mean, he's got to be, I think we got to move Tootin where? Ahead of Judkins, ahead of Scadaboo, ahead of Harvey. I mean, are we moving him to the 40s? Are we moving Tootin to the 40s? I think we probably are. I think we're probably moving him up that high because the Jags backfield will be LeQuint on third downs, and Tootin will really just play the role that Etienne just vacated. Now, Etienne gets to play in a really good offense. I mean, Kellen Moore's offenses have always been very good. Let's pull up the old Kellen Moore Pro Football Reference page. So Kellen Moore has led offenses that were first in the NFL in points twice. He's only ever been outside the top third in the league that miserable Chargers year. And then last year, man. Yeah, I think the Kamara, I mean, Kamara's probably just going to retire, right? That's probably just it for Alvin Kamara. I would say it's basically over for him. Is he just going to retire? Is Kamara going to play? Is Kamara going to be in the backfield? I don't think so. My guess would be either Kamara is in a very ceremonial role for the New Orleans Saints, or he just doesn't play. What I would ask you guys would be if he can consolidate this work. So Kamara in 11 games last year averaged about 12 rushes per game. He averaged only 3.6 yards per carry, 3 receptions per game. So we can probably get I want to say about 18 touches a game for Etienne probably. I think that sounds about right. I mean, Etienne is probably just right about in this range. I think you actually probably need to downgrade Etienne a little bit from where he was going. I think in the 40s feels about right. All right. Who do you have higher? Bichel Tootin or Travis Etienne Jr.? Who goes higher in fantasy drafts in 2026? Bichel Tootin, the bell cow, or Travis Etienne, the New Orleans Saint? I think Tootin. I think Tootin. I think right now I think it's Bichel Tootin. I think it's Tootin. Because so the Jaguars offense is obviously going to be much better than the New Orleans Saints. Right? I mean, Trevor was so much better last year. Now, the Saints do have a very good offensive line. So yards per play, actually, they were not that good. Jaguars were 18th in the NFL in yards per play. The Saints were 27th in the NFL in yards per play. The Jacksonville Jaguars scored the 6th most points in the NFL. The New Orleans Saints scored the 28th most points. in the NFL. Yes, the Jaguars definitely will bring someone else in, but who are they? Who are they going? Ooh, yes. Hold on, I have a surprise for you guys. Mr. Jakob Sanderson is going to be joining us momentarily. Yes. So I'm saying to me, I'm saying Tootin. I'm saying Tootin. It's gonna be awful close. 6 out of 12 there. Beautiful. 6 out of 12 in the 3-3-3. Yes. So I guess the remaining options for the Jaguars would be, so they could bring in Rachaad White, who remains a free agent. Let's look at 2026 NFL free agent running backs remaining. So Gainwell has signed, Walker has signed, Dowdle is still out there, Pacheco's still out there. Now it could be someone like, it could just be a Michael Carter situation. It could be a Jeremy McNichols. Okay, let me throw this one to you guys. What if they do J.K. Dobbins? The Jacksonville Jaguars starring J.K. Dobbins. How much are you totally out on Tootin? Are you in on Tootin? Are you scared of J.K. Dobbins? Yeah, Allgeier signed with the Arizona Cardinals, which let's try and take it. Let's try and take it one at a time, because I still want to figure out this Jacksonville Jaguars situation. What if they bring in Jerome Ford? So the backfield for the Jaguars is Tootin, Jerome Ford on a veteran minimum deal, and LaQuint Allen. And the Saints backfield is Etienne, Kamara, and Devin Neal. I'm taking Tootin there. I guess what we really need is we need clarity on what Kamara is doing. Has Kamara tweeted? Do we have an Alvin Kamara tweet? Alvin Kamara. Has Kamara said anything? Kamara has not said anything since February 21st when he tweeted, "There's a lot that I see and don't speak on. God has the final say." Okay, yeah, let's do, all right, so Tyler Allgeier signed a 2-year, I believe, $12 million deal with the Arizona Cardinals. So you have to ask yourself, why did they do this deal? Is it about Benson? Is it about Connor? So Connor is heading into his age 31 season. He turns 31 in 2 months. He's coming off a season where he declined in efficiency. Before he got injured, he was averaging 3 yards per carry. He was averaging his fewest yards per target as well. So this is a guy who was already declining. James Conner was already declining before Tyler Allgeier signed a deal. Trey Benson has just barely played. Trey Benson is basically Marshawn Lloyd. I know we all kind of like Trey Benson, but Trey Benson stinks. Trey Benson's been in the NFL for 2 seasons. He's generated 92 rushes. He's done absolutely nothing. He scored 1 touchdown. Trey Benson has scored 1 touchdown. 16 targets last season in 4 games. I am of the, this would be my current opinion. My current opinion would be that Tyler Allgeier signed to probably be the first guy up. I mean, James Conner will start the season. Like, surely James Conner will get the first pick, right? Like, or the first carry. But beyond that, I mean, if you're doing your projections, so let's see, we've got James Conner down here at 99. This is in the Fantasy Pros expert consensus rankings. So I think you're moving James Conner way down. What you have to ask yourself is how far up do you want to move Allgeier? I'm thinking Allgeier is still probably a top 100 pick. I don't think he will be priced that way. As Connor here notes, Allgeier is immediately a grade 0 running back pick. Even better if he falls. If Allgeier ends up being well behind, like what is the ADP movement going to be? Are we going to see James Conner go up from being re-signed, or are we going to see Allgeier be a thorn in his side? Why would James Conner get the first carry? They told him to take less money or get cut and paid Allgeier. That's just how the NFL works, bro. They re-signed James Conner because he is a veteran presence. They value what he's able to bring in the locker room. Everyone that has ever said anything about James Conner has said he's like the best dude. James Conner is a cancer survivor. He has a lot of respect of his teammates, of his coaches, of the organization. Allgeier would fall because I think that the market was pricing in some chance of him signing with the Chiefs, some chance of him signing this deal with the Saints. Like Allgeier was priced in such a way that he could get himself a starting job. Yes, we need the updated Mike Clay projections. All right, here we go. Good update. Peter Schrager just said the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be in the remaining undrafted free agent market, unrestricted free agent market. Said Dobbins is a name to watch. Wow. Davis Maddock, professional ball knower. They're saying more and more. My opinion ultimately would be this. If any or either of Conner or Allgeier gets expensive, you got to be out. Like you can't be, I don't think you can spend the 70th overall pick on a situation that uncertain. Maybe I'm wrong. I think the thirst for starting running backs has just gotten insane in fantasy football. And I actually kind of think Allgeier and Conner could be sort of a good 1-2 punch where Allgeier is sort of the battering ram and Conner plays in some passing situations, but obviously the worst scenario for fantasy football would be James Conner gets all the goal line work and gets all the third downs, and Allgeier gets 18 rushes a game. You know what? It could be really similar to what happened for the Denver Broncos last year, actually. If you want a comparison for how the situation could be really bad. So we got last year for the Broncos, J.K. Dobbins had 153 rushes, never played in the passing game, but also only scored 4 touchdowns because he wasn't getting any of the good work. There we go. My guy, Jacob Sanderson. How are we doing? There you go. We're both wearing our things.
Alec. That was when I said 4 for 110 on ADP chasing last week and you guys laughed. Maybe you were laughing for the wrong reason.
No,
I laughed at how I would devalue Alec Pierce, who has actually got 4 by 116.
I wanted on the record. I was not laughing at the prognostication because I completely agree with you that Alec Pierce was going to get paid quite a bit of money, but Alec Pierce signing a 4-year, $116 million deal while the team trades away Michael Pittman Jr. to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm not certain that Alec Pierce is better than Michael Pittman Jr. is interesting.
I think he's definitely better for real life football. He just does more valuable things. Like Pittman to me is kind of a volume sponge where you like an NFL offense needs somebody who can catch the ball on 8-yard mesh routes and not do a whole lot after that. Like that's a thing you need. But I think that there's a lot of people who can do what Pittman can do. And he's, 10% better at it than most, which makes him a pretty reasonable fantasy wide receiver 2, 3. But I think that's fine what the Steelers did. Yeah, I think I hate what the Colts did this offseason. They decided that they needed to get basically Jones and Pierce back at any cost. They paid Pierce more than they had to pay by.
Well, wasn't the report? wasn't the report that Alec Pierce actually took less money to stay with the Colts than he would have gotten from other
I never know how
teams?
true that stuff is. I think that's always a lot of slop.
No, that tracks to me because Wandale just got $20 million a year. And I mean, God love my short game.
I mean, I just talked about, I think Pittman's more valuable in fantasy than reality. There might be no one who's more valuable in fantasy than reality than Wandale Robinson. I basically, my issue just all comes down to the Daniel Jones thing. Like, I think Alec Pierce is an overpay at this price. But like, in terms of just for this year, would I rather have, like, basically there's $5 million that they're spent on Pittman that they had to spend on Pittman no matter what. So their choice was either 29 mil on Pierce plus eat the 5 on Pittman. So it's 34 million for Pierce, or they would have had to pay Pittman's full 29 million this year. So like, would I rather have Pierce for 5 more million than Pittman? Like, certainly. I think Pierce is a much better real life player. And I don't think it was like feasible for them trying to win this year to cut Pittman and not sign Pierce. So I get that in a vacuum. But my issue just remains, like, they gave up all their leverage to get Pierce on a decent contract when they didn't tag him. If they tagged him and no other team could offer him anything, they probably get Pierce at a much lower number because they're not having to compete with anybody. They didn't do that because they cared about signing Daniel Jones. And to me, that was the fundamental mistake, was that they care about Daniel Jones. Anyways, we can talk about other non-Colts issues. I'm sure I'll tilt about this again tomorrow on ADP chasing.
Well, here's one that doesn't make very much sense to me. We don't have to spend very much time on it, but I don't know why the Raiders just gave Jalen Nailor a 3-year, $35 million deal, including $23 million guaranteed. What's going on there?
This is the thing. And it's like, this is what is so stupid about free agency. So like, my favorite signings in free agency every year are like at the lower value positions, because that's where you can actually get elite players that somehow make it to the market. But like at the high value positions, there's no value to be found. You're either spending A+ money on B+ players, like the Alec Pierce contract. Mm-hmm. And then for the teams that are like, well, I can't spend up on that. Like, if you have to make a signing at wide receiver, like, you'd almost rather just overpay Alec Pierce an egregious amount. Because, like, are you paying him $29 million when he's probably worth $21 million? Yes, but at least he's a good player. Because, like, if you try to do a discount version of the Alec Pierce signing, you wind up just paying actual money for someone who's like replacement level, right? Like, and
Jalen Nailor. I don't even know if Jalen Nailor's replacement level.
So like every year, yeah, someone just jumped the gun. I was going to make the Josh Palmer comparison. Someone else just said it. Every year there's like contracts where once you get past the top 3 contracts, which you basically get, medium starters and you're paying them elite starter money. Once you get past that, you're just getting guys who probably shouldn't even be starters, but they're still like the 6th best wide receiver available because no one lets good wide receivers get to free agency. And you're like, I guess we've got to give him $12 million a year, And it was the Josh Palmer contract last year. It was the, who am I trying to think of?
De'Ami Brown, 1 year, $10 million.
De'Ami Brown, that was exactly another one I was thinking of. De'Ami Brown. Like, it happens every single year at the wide receiver position where there are just these like super dumb contracts to guys who like provide literally nothing, right? Like, I would way rather pay, like, let's say Pierce is worth 20 million. Okay, I'll pay him 29. Or let's say Dobbs is worth 14 million, like, and you have to pay him 20. Like, both of those are better than Jalen Nailor, who should just really get $0. But
the Raiders have like $1 billion. Why are they not giving the Alec Pierce contract to Romeo Doubs? That makes more sense to me.
That would make more sense, yeah.
That makes more sense than being like, all right, our 11 personnel is Brock Bowers, Jack Besh, whichever one of the Indiana teammates that we're able to get for Mendoza between Surratt, Cooper, and Jalen Nailor. Like, that doesn't track to me at all. Or Jennings. I mean, isn't Juwan Jennings an unrestricted free agent? What? Like,
yes, he doesn't stretch the field. You got to pay for speed in free agency.
I guess you do. Okay, what is your
they've just
take?
done the Michael Pittman thing?
Well, I think because they are probably imagining. I think they're saving that space for Elijah Surratt. I'm not even kidding. I think the odds of the Raiders taking one of his teammates at that second round pick is like so high. Maybe I'm totally full of it. Yeah, this is probably the worst kept secret in free agency is that Dobbs is going to sign with the San Francisco 49ers, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, we'll see. Okay, what do you think about the Arizona Cardinals 2026 backfield with Allgeier, Benson, and Connor all in it?
Well, have we gotten any details yet on just how much of a pay cut Connor took? I'm now guessing it was a massive one, but have we seen that?
I have not. I can
Quoted?
try and find
'Cause I haven't been able
how
to
much
find
but
it.
it was.
My assumption was it was a lot. I think that they would have saved 9 million cutting him. I think he only had 1.5 on the books. That might be slightly off. That's from memory, but I think it's pretty close anyway. And so like when it was reported, you never know. It's like, does that mean he took a $2 million pay cut, or does that mean they, increased his 1.5 owed to like 2.5? Because like the Devin Singletary one was basically he took almost the minimum that he was already owed, and they just wiped out everything else. So I think it's probably just Allgeier is the guy.
That was my. I mean, Connor will get the first carry of the year or whatever.
I don't think he will.
He's James Conner, bro. He's like he's a free guy. He's a cancer survivor.
I think Connor might even still get cut in camp.
I mean, he's like basically done. I was looking at his numbers in the 3 games he played last year, and they're quite poor.
I think it's basically so. I mean, Benson has basically never played in the NFL. He's never finished a single game as the starting running back.
He's Marshawn Lloyd
on IR.
He's Marshawn Lloyd.
Yes, exactly. He is. We've had this exact discussion on our Dynasty Point show. So I just don't think he factors in. Like, it's a new regime now coming into Arizona, new coach. Trey Benson, he can't be part of the plans, I don't think, at this point. His recovery from the meniscus injury has been quite complicated. Jeff Mueller was reporting he might have some like degenerative issues, similar to Jerick McKinnon had in his recovery. So I think Benson is like kind of just if he ends up being something, he ends up being something. I don't think he's in the plans. I think Connor is back on a rework contract to be like a vibes guy / insurance policy. So I suspect Allgeier is going to have no issue getting his way to 220 carries on this roster.
Yeah, I've been drafting a lot more of Tyler Allgeier in these contests than Benson, although I have been drafting all of some of them. I was actually surprised that Allgeier's agent was only able to drum up 2 years, 12 million, given how much everyone seems to hate this running back group of like in the draft. Like, no one wants to find their starting running back in the draft other than Jeremiah Love. So I was a little surprised by that.
Running backs in the draft.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they are. And then so we still have Rico Dowdle unsigned. Feels like he probably is going to be Commanders or Seahawks. Those are the two that have the big hole left.
Or Broncos.
God, rest in peace, our guy RJ Harvey.
I mean, he's had an outstanding day so far. I mean, the Broncos were heavily in on Etienne. So he dodged that bullet. He dodged the Walker. I mean, that's the big winner so far of the day has been the 3 second-year backs, right? Like, it may not be perfect. There's still guys out there. Rachaad White's still out there. Dobbins is still out there. Dowdle is still out there. And the draft hasn't happened yet. But overall, if you are a Tootin, Scadaboo, or Harvey optimist, I think your day is going excellently because, Scadaboo still has to worry about Jeremiah Love, but the other two don't. They're not in range. So if you're Scadaboo, you're probably just hoping to duck Love. And if you're Harvey, like I assume the best case scenario for Denver is still that they would just re-sign J.K. Dobbins, but that's like pretty manageable, I think. They literally don't have any other running backs under contract in Denver right now. Harvey's the only one.
Well, I mean, Sean Payton will always find a way. There's always a running back in the banana stand for Mr. Sean Payton.
Oh, this is fine. Just nailed it. Yeah, there's the running back.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. I mean, I don't know how I didn't get there before. Yeah, Kamara is totally a
Yeah,
Bronco.
there it is.
How
He's
do
a
you
Bronco.
even get out of Alvin Kamara's contract as a New Orleans Saints?
Well, that's why they did
no?
that. That's why they did that thing. They basically stretched it. So
Oh,
so they
all right.
they basically like, I don't know enough about it to like explain exactly why it's legal. But what Underhill said that they did is essentially they took what was his 1-year cap hit and they like did the equivalent of what a wave and stretch would be like in hockey,
Well, I was gonna say
or
in the NBA.
Yeah, either way. And so they basically would take a $10 million hit now, and they would take an $8 million hit later. And then it made it easier for them to move on from him this year. So I think he's gone now. I feel pretty good about that. Yeah, third down says that sounds illegal. I didn't know it was legal until like the other day. I don't know why it's legal. I just know the effect. But yeah, I mean, how are you feeling about those three? Because they seem like the huge winners. Like I'm sure they will add. Well, the Giants might add literally no one. I mean, they have their 3 running backs on the roster. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna count Harvey as a winner yet. I'm not
going to
winner
count so far.
Yeah, I'm
not. Doesn't have to stay that way.
I just think
he's not a big loser though. Like could have been way worse. Like because if they signed Etienne or Walker, it's just over. Like it's just fully over. If they sign Dobbins or Dowdle, like you're not, his price might decline or something, which is why I think he's been like undraftable at cost. But it's definitely not over. He'll have a role. He'll have a chance next season. Yeah, Tootin's in a great spot too. I think the Jags will like sign some dusty veteran because I would just be surprising to me if they went into the season.
Peter Schrager reported J.K. Dobbins was a name to monitor.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I actually want them to do that because I would rather pay the
I was just literally thinking this
for Bashal.
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't want to be spending my summer holding hands with like projectable volume truthers on Bashal Tootin. I only want to be drafting with the actual talent truthers on Bashal Tootin. So like I obviously didn't want someone who's actually good to sign there, but I would love them to sign like Rachaad White would just be like a dream. If
no, dude, you're thinking no. The perfect signing, absolutely perfect, would be Chris Rodriguez, and they give him like a startling amount of money. They give him like $5 million a year with incentives, and you get like a bunch of really good coach speak on him. You get the whole, coaching staff's talking him up. They're like, we really liked what he did in Washington last year. We think he's got more to his game as a pass catcher than they ever let him do there. Like, we're really excited. We're going to have him and Tootin on the field together. Then we're getting like 0% chance Tootin is not the starter with like a 6th round price tag. If their backfield is LaQuint Allen, Bijan Tootin, and some jabroni they take on day 3 of the NFL draft, if it's Kellen Black, like we're gonna have to pay 3rd round price on Tootin, like straight up. He's gonna be so expensive if that happens. Because you get both buy pressures. You get the slappies who are trying to out slap themselves, and then you get the people who are like, well, I look at the projections and I see 240 carries for this guy, so I should take him. And I don't want to do that at all. Yeah, very, very much De'Ami Brown parallels there on that. Aaron Jones would be perfect cover for Bijan.
Yeah,
where it's like,
exactly.
Yes.
And that is like what. Yeah, I mean, this is like the biggest issue that the fantasy community never gets is like you do actually have to fill out a running back depth chart. Like you can't just go into your season with one running back on the depth chart and like a punter as RB2, like it's NCAA football.
Right.
So like these teams, like the Broncos entered with literally one back on the roster. The Bucs entered with one back on the roster. Like all these teams were going to sign guys, and obviously some guys are worse than other guys. But like no, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not going to go into the season with like only 2 running backs on the roster with like 90 combined touches between them. So they're going to sign a person. But yeah, I would love if they sign like Aaron Jones. It would make total sense to sign like one kind of like old guy I think Dobbins would make sense there. I think Jones would make sense there. It's like a just in case our young guys aren't as good as we think they are move.
Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs still only have 2 running backs under contract. So like You could be feeling. I mean, they could. They could probably just re-sign Pacheco.
They'll just
money.
they'll just re-sign. No, I think they'll re-sign Kareem Hunt.
That's actually okay. I don't even mean to go there, but that's not great for Kenneth Walker because they'd still probably use him as the goal line back. I think.
Yeah, I was as soon as it happened, that first and goal from the 2 when Kareem Hunt's fat arse hops onto the field. How tilted is everyone gonna be?
My first instinct was to move. I moved Kenneth Walker up to I think this is about right in that range with Taylor, A-Chain, Cook, kind of in that Genty, Walker, Jefferson, London, Neighbors, that range. I certainly I think ahead of Love and I think ahead of Hampton, and I'd probably take him over Trey McBride. Probably take him over Justin Jefferson. Maybe after Justin Jefferson. It would kind of depend, I guess. Do you think that's too bullish on Ken Walker?
That's maybe a little much for me.
You think Hampton over him? Hampton, by the way, there's already been
I'm definitely taking Genty over him for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I think you do, particularly because they also the Raiders just signed Linderbaum for $1 million. Yeah. I got sick of waiting for the 3-3-3 to fill. I'm gonna leave it open, but we're drafting out of the 8 hole right here. So we're actually probably gonna have to decide at 17 on if we want to take Kenneth Walker or not.
All right.
I think I vote yes. I think 17 is a good line for it. I do wonder, are they going to take him off the field in obvious passing situations the way the Seahawks did for Brashard Smith? I would honestly lean no. What I would be worried about is the Kareem Hunt situation, because they would probably play Kareem Hunt on third downs over Kenneth Walker. God, it's just I can't believe.
I mean,
this is
it doesn't matter who they this is the thing. Kenneth Walker's not playing on third downs, so it doesn't matter who they sign or who they don't sign. He's not playing on third downs. Relax. There's no universe in which the first 3rd and 10 of the season has Kenneth Walker on the field. Not happening.
Wow. All right. This is
San Fran.
Yeah, this is about as big as it gets. I actually figured this out. I connected the dots for this one on stream the other day.
Not
Future Hall of Fame. In fact, Jacob, I was gun shy of using a Mike Evans jersey swap into a 49ers jersey for the thumbnail of this video because I couldn't get it just right. I couldn't get the numbers right. It kept the Buccaneers
after
numbers.
I bullied you about your shitty DJ Moore one.
After you frame mogged me.
Yeah.
So I've been expecting this to happen. I thought it would come with Dubs though, because they still don't have a third wide receiver.
I mean, who would? Well, there's always
be like Sky Moore.
They got big plans for Sky Moore. I'm sure. Is Danny Gray still in the facility?
Yeah, I don't think this means that Dubs is not.
What's his name? Jalen Watkins, Juju Watkins,
Jordan Watkins.
Somebody Watkins. Yeah.
What's funny is Andy Reid's history with the usage on true number 1 running backs. It would be depends on when you got into fantasy football. Because if you got into fantasy football 15 years ago, you'd be like, this guy was sent on earth to make running backs score points. And if you got into fantasy football 5 years ago, you'd be like, no one has ever been more annoying. McCaffrey over Lamb.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah.
Whenever someone says what is X coach's history with number 1 running backs, I lose my will to live, unfortunately. Not to be mean to your commenters, but it's possible nothing tilts me more.
Well, I mean, it's just if they have a good running back, they probably give them the ball, and if they don't have a good running back, they probably don't give them the ball. Yeah,
correct. I mean, Walker's not going to play third downs. I just refuse to believe that matters. He's a horrendous pass blocker. He's never playing on 3rd and 10. The question is does he get the goal line work? Does he play every early down snap? And he's a fine enough receiver. You can throw him the ball 50 times on early downs. You don't, Joe Mixon didn't play third downs in Houston 2 years ago, but no one thought of him as not a workhorse because when it was 3rd and 12, Dare Ogunbowale came out to block a linebacker.
Mike Evans' hamstring versus the EMF rays from the substation next to the 49ers field. Also weird, I guess a crazy part of this deal, it's a 3-year deal for Mike Evans.
So like how real of a 3-year deal do we think it is?
I mean, certainly I would guess the final year is as fake as a contract could get, but probably the second year is half real. I would think.
Half real.
Yeah.
Great fun
Yeah.
geese.
I would guess. I'm still in. If we can fill the 3-3-3, we will certainly do it. We need 4 more. Jacob, we are on the clock. Kenneth Walker is gone.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone. So
okay. Can you show me? I'm not against running back, but do we have any other? You're only showing me running back.
Oh, sorry. It would be McBride or Bowers or London.
I'd probably take Barkley.
Wow, a man! You guys just watched a man lose his religion in real time as we begin the first.
There's me in the corner. There's
incredible.
Me in the spot. Drafting Saquon Barkley.
Barkley to me feels like I'll be honest.
I like Barkley this year.
If I was
it was a bounce back.
If I was truth serum drafting, I would just take all these guys. I'd take McBride, I'd take Bowers, I'd take Hampton, I'd take them all. I think Barkley is close to finished.
I don't. I think he had the too many carries year last year. I think he's going to come back refreshed. I think they're going to look better under not Kevin Patullo. I think Barkley's going to cook this year. I think he's a value. I wasn't taking him last year.
Yeah, I guess it could happen.
I'm standing alone from the cabal on this, but the history of these guys that have had the year with all of the touches, the next year tends to be quite a lot better.
I would say,
if you think of like DeMarco Murray, he had the terrible year on the Eagles, but then he was great the next year on the Titans. Josh Jacobs was awful that last year on the Raiders, but then he was rock solid the next year with the Packers. Like I don't know. I think Barkley's he's not that old. He was just the best player in football like 2 years ago. I don't know. I think he's. Totally
I'll say this. It could very easily just be Kevin Patullo is a terrorist, and it just everything got mucked up as a result of that. Another guy who's almost in the clear, Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt. Also,
he's not in the clear.
I mean, how many guys left? How many guys left could take his job?
Jeremiah Love is the biggest threat.
Jeremiah Love could definitely take his
job. But
I
also think anyone could take his job, to be honest.
Yes.
I think Rodriguez could take his job.
Chris Rodriguez snatched his chain, so literally anyone could take his job.
He could get C-Rod mogged once again.
I mean, Chris Rodriguez.
I'm rooting for him. I still think that's a natural Rachaad White team. You get the ASU connection to Daniels and Ayuk when he eventually signs there. And then they need that pass catching element, and then you can do that. I mean, kind of a best case scenario if it was just JCM and Rachaad White, but
yeah, 100%. All right, we are about to be back up. Sidekick is for sure going to want us to take Rashee Rice. I don't know if you're Rashee Rice agnostic. I don't know if you're pro Rashee, anti Rashee.
Yeah, Rashee's fine. Probably like Garrett more, but I'm fine with Rashee. Yeah,
I have Etienne way up in my ranks. You like Garrett Wilson more?
Yeah, that would be my pick.
Send it. Do we think Geno Smith is going to be his quarterback?
Seems like the most likely option. I don't really care. I just want any normal pocket passer to be Garrett Wilson's quarterback, and I think I'm loving life in the late third.
True.
If it's Geno, it might be Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, what is the Cardinals' plan? Because
Jimmy G. It's Jimmy G. That's their plan.
The Cardinals' plan is Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's what's been reported by the beats. Is that's Mike LaFleur's guy is Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's gonna sign Jimmy G to be their starter.
I'm gonna keep it so real. That is really terrifying for Trey McBride. That's really terrifying. Really bad.
It's terrifying for like the human race that like nepotism is that prevalent. That like they signed the less impressive LaFleur brother to sign the least impressive Shanny quarter. Like that is the all-time.
It's so
Like
true.
it's the all-time like merit is meaningless. I just want to hang out with my guys. Signing
Like literally, like I just want to. There are so many like mid quarterbacks available, like an all-time glut of mid quarterbacks available, and you're gonna go with Jimmy. Like I'd rather have Kirk Cousins, I think.
Oh well, certainly.
Do you have Luther Burden this high in your personal mental model?
Obviously, yeah.
I think actually, hot take, so far of anything that has happened in the National Football League over the last week, I think the guy whose range of outcomes improved the most, even more so than Kenneth Walker, is Luther Burden. Because he had this was sneaky. Not only did DJ Moore get traded, but Olamide Zaccheaus signed with the Falcons today.
Oh, who gives a shit?
I mean, he took all his routes last year. There's not even anyone on the roster to take his routes now.
I disagree with that, though. I don't think OZ took Burden's routes. I think Moore took Burden's routes. Burden's not like the role that Zaccheaus was in was running these like choice routes, sitting in zones from the slot, which is like not Burden's game. He's a outside man beater. So I think he needed to step into Moore's role, which is crucial. I guess I was already kind of pricing in that Moore was probably not going to be there this year.
I gotta give you some props. You were the first person brave enough to say DJ Moore is getting cut or traded.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was a year early.
Now, granted, you're very biased against DJ Moore, but you were. I'm
not biased against him. I'm just correct that he is terrible at football and has an awful attitude, and no one should ever draft him or speak to him or sign him to play football.
What if he goes for 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns? Though, have you thought about it?
Yeah, I thought about it. I mean, I'm so happy you went to the Bills because I hate the Bills and I hate DJ Moore, and so it's perfect. I can just hate on everything. Like I can hate on Joe Brady, DJ Moore, the Bills, and Liam at the same time. It's just it's nice for things to align that way. I mean, obviously, like as biased as I am against DJ Moore, and as much as I'm sure I won't draft him this year, I can definitely acknowledge it's a pretty remarkably good outcome for him in fantasy football.
There's not a better outcome DJ Moore could have had, I think, than getting traded to the Buffalo Bills. I don't know what other situation could have buoyed him up nearly as much.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's has been the most overrated football player in the NFL by like 7 miles for years, but he's definitely like the best receiver on that team. Well, no, I think Khalil Shakir's better, but
no, come on, Khalil Shakir, get out of here with that.
How much plus money would you give me on a Khalil Shakir?
Oh, Sack already tried to do this angle shoot with me, and I said I'm not gonna make bets
straight up.
Well, I'm just not gonna make bets in markets where I know that I can't be rational. Okay, we are up. Sidekick wants David Montgomery. I maybe Christian Watson pilled here. Roma Dunze pilled here. We could set up the double.
Who? Yeah, I don't know. I like Lemon. I like Fannin. I like who was the running back? Montgomery. I don't mind that.
Let's do Lemon and see if Monty comes around to us. Fannin, I just have ranked really high. Fan and I have like 12 spots ahead of ADP, so we can wait there.
Same here. I don't mind these quarterbacks either. Like Jaden Daniels seems pretty interesting. Jalen Hurts
quarterbacks at like once you start getting into Parker Washington range, you're like, why wouldn't I just take a quarterback here? It's like the thing that I feel most different about in fantasy football this year versus years prior, where it's like, yeah, sometimes I just have 2 quarterbacks by my 8th pick.
Well, admittedly, I haven't been drafting that much on DraftKings, so maybe you can correct me if it's very different. But like I find that the quarterbacks also just run out way faster than I'm used to.
Totally the same one.
So like, normally my issue with drafting the early quarterbacks on Underdog is like, well, I can either wait for the QB window, and worst case, if I strike out in the QB window, I can always just tap 2 starters at like the very end of drafts. But you kind of can't do that. So if you're telling me it's like I can draft Jaden Daniels in the 6th,
damn.
Tune, Should we just take Tootin?
Oh yeah. Let's just take Tootin. Let's go. Fire it. Did he already go? Okay, no, we got him. Bang.
No.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him. Bang.
Take that, Sam Sherman, you multimillionaire.
Oh, dude, Sam is okay. He's already setting himself up for the fall though, because he made that tweet before Etienne is not on the team anymore, and now he's going to back himself into a corner, no matter how shitty and bad the rest of the backfield is. And because I know Sam, and he's just going to be way too stubborn about it to back down. So I think we'll.
Well, why would he back down? He just won Best Ball Mania. Like if there's ever a time to just spit fire, regardless of whether you think you're correct, like you just go all out on it. Because why would you not?
Exactly. I mean, yeah. You just say, I won $2 million playing fantasy football. What have you ever won, idiot?
It's been reported now by both Albright and Rappaport that Kamara will just be retiring. He's not going to the Broncos.
All right. Well, I do have about 17 sidekick drafted teams that have Alvin Kamara on them. So
those will go nicely with your Zach Ertz.
God. Oh, that's painful. That's painful. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it makes things a lot easier for Etienne. I think Kellen Moore's such a good offensive coordinator.
I like the Etienne fit. I mean, there's no one there that like Etienne's two weak spots are he's not really an ideal goal line back because he's not a success rate runner. And he's like a totally capable pass catcher, pass blocker, but like not great. Like he's kind of like B- at those things. So if you have a better third down option like a LeQuint, that's who you play there. But if it's, Etienne or like Tank Bigsby, you're obviously playing Etienne. I don't think that there's anyone on the roster between Kendre or Devin Neal who like very obviously displaces him in passing situations or at the goal line. So I think Etienne can get all the high value touches. I think he can get a ton of raw touches. They do a lot of volume with Kellen Moore stuff. Like it's maybe not the highest upside landing spot in the whole world just because I don't know how elite their offense is going to be. But I think it's at least like an A- landing spot. I think it's better than like if he landed in Denver, which was rumored, or like on the Giants, which was rumored, like he'd be the lead back both of those spots. But I think Harvey and Scatterboo would still get touches. I think he'll just rattle off the touches in New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say I would say he maybe even has less pressure coming into the season on his touches than he would have had last year with LeQuint playing third downs, Bigsby up there. People forget week 1 before Bigsby got traded, four running backs played for the Jags.
Yeah.
That's it was kind of an all-time people forget situation. All right. We are up we're about to be up. Hurts is kind of the last of that elite tier of quarterback. Be like Hurts. Oh no, he just went. So it'd be like Tyson or one of these dust ball running backs.
Oh, I'm super into
Tyson. Super into Tyson. Oh no, shit. Yeah, he just went too. He just went too. So now we're really cooked.
Myers or who we could do. Like,
this is like a miserable part of the draft. You know what? Jacob's here. Jacob is here. I'm reaching across the aisle. I just took Justin Herbert.
I don't even think that would have been my quarterback, but all right.
Just
cool.
Cool. in the spirit of friendship and seeing how the other half lives. There you go, Justin Herbert.
For the record, I probably would have taken Dart.
Yeah, I am so of two minds on Dart because
you love a white boy who has like a blurred racial identity.
I do. I really do.
Also hate Matt Nagy.
Hate Matt Nagy.
Things about you.
I also. It's just like he had 5 documented concussion checks last year, which just feels like a lot for a quarterback. And I know they cheat the rules to allow quarterbacks to come into games whenever they want, but it still feels like a lot. It still feels like, hey man, maybe stop allowing this to happen to you constantly? Like, can we not? Can we do something else? And he is just never like, yeah, let's like, what was it? Was that the week 16 game? Were they playing the Ravens? I don't remember who it was, but like the talk all week was like, hey man, can you maybe not get concussed? And then like the first play, he tried to like stretch for a first down and got ragdolled.
Yeah.
Well, this is an interesting range. If we think Allgeier is the guy, Allgeier would be interesting here. Laporte would be interesting here. Sidekick wants Mahomes, but it always wants Mahomes.
I like Allgeier Pitts. Or Dowdle.
Let's take Allgeier. I'm willing to I think be kind of out on a limb there and say good landing spot. He is easily able to take over for James Conner, and that Trey Benson is like immaterial. Like Trey Benson does not exist.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
Like what is the point of because I guess it's that he has not become as much of a meme as Marshawn Lloyd has been, but their careers have been very similar.
Yeah, basically the same. Yeah.
All right. How many do we have on the 3-3-3? All right. We still need 4 more for that. It'd be perfect timing if we could fill. Oh, yes. It was against the Patriots. And he got smoked. Yeah. Do we think that Dowdle is a loser on the day because the Chiefs job went, no, probably. Well, Arizona,
no,
I guess, could have been a spot for him.
A lot of spots. He's still got a lot of options. So I think Commanders are definitely an option for Dowdle. I think the Broncos are definitely an option for Dowdle, but I think they'll wind up just re-signing Dobbins probably. Seahawks for sure are an option for Dowdle.
Man, if he nuts out that Seahawks landing spot, although then it does become kind of a Schrodinger's backfield situation wherein he is the starter for the first 2 months of the season, but then you have to wonder how much are they going to give Charbonnet when he returns? Are they going to give him a ton of work when he returns? Are they going to ease him in? Are they going to keep him in the same role? Like,
yeah,
because they're not going to give Helani very much work, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I'm curious. So, like, I know you didn't want Love at 9, but how, like, fantasy aside, purely real life Chiefs fan, how
purely real life Chiefs fan
Walker signing? I have my thoughts on it, but I'm curious yours.
Obviously, like, if you would have left it up to me, I would have been like, yeah, I would have rather given Tyler Allgeier 2 years, $12 million. However, I do think it does show in a way that they're very cognizant of the problem, which is that every game and every play was, hey, Pat, can you just be the best player that's ever played? And if you can't do that, we lose. If you cannot literally be every game the best, then we lose. They were 32nd in the NFL each of the last 3 years in explosive run rate. So, like, they're like, you know, you're watching a game and your running back rips off a 34-yarder and it just like kind of like flips field position. You get a field goal or whatever that you maybe didn't deserve. The Chiefs literally never got that. It just was never, it would never happen for them. So I actually like, and like McDuffie leaving and Jalen Watson leaving, to me, that's like what they do organizationally. They haven't given a second contract to a defensive back since Eric Berry.
Well,
so I'm not mad about that either.
The Spags era, like that's their superpower as a team is developing corners. So why would you pay for what you can develop?
Yeah, 100%.
I love Godwin.
Yeah, that for sure. I think Godwin just gained a ton with confirmation that Evans is leaving. And honestly, I actually think Igbuka is like kind of a small winner there as well, because it maybe answers. Well, I think it answers our question a little bit, like which Igbuka does the team think is real? The first 8 games or the second 8 games?
I think the real wide receiver one's probably Jalen McMillan.
Yeah. Honestly, I really mean this, and everyone's gonna say that I'm like coping or whatever. I literally don't think this is true, that giving a third for Brees would have been better. I think it would have been fine. What you guys and what the national media has failed to understand about the Chiefs for the last 6 months You guys do not understand how shitty this roster is. It's so bad. They need like as many draft picks as possible because they just need to get like starters. They just need like literal bodies on the field. So I think this was a smarter use of their resources.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they should have done the Hall thing because you can't just guarantee that you're going to sign Ken Walker in free agency. But now that they signed Ken Walker in free agency, A plus 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 plus. I think Ken Walker's a superstar. I think that they needed this really, really badly. Could not like possibly be more excited about the landing spot for the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't know. I like could not be better. I think Ken Walker's going to have an unbelievable season and totally change.
Are you a Gadsden guy? Because I'm a Gadsden guy.
Kinda. I'm a Gadsden guy enough for this price. We have
Herbert. He dodged likely, which I think was possible, right?
Why?
Harbaugh connection.
Possible. Yeah, but they already have a tiny little twink tight end. They need multiple of those.
Well, I mean, teams keep taking. Teams love tight ends. Teams want to have 3 tight ends. The Rams have 4.
Yeah, but they got Gadsden in one role. They need like a blocker at tight end. You know, maybe they just re-sign Will Dissly like Big Montana or whatever. But I don't know. I don't think they were going to take
the bigger threat for him is Sadiq. The Chargers pick firmly in Sadiq range. I know it's the wrong Harbaugh, but they're brothers. That they can send each other a text message about tight ends.
Snuffalo asked if I think the Seattle should have kept Walker at that price. I mean, like, look, I'm going to stop questioning Seattle's moves, I guess, because they won the Super Bowl. So, like, good for them. I'm not surprised that they didn't re-sign Walker because they showed all year that they don't value Kenneth Walker. I think that they are wrong. But, like, they won the Super Bowl and I didn't. So, you know, far be it for me to say that they don't know what they're doing. But I'm not surprised that they didn't because nothing about how they utilized Ken Walker this year suggested that they think he's one of the best players in the NFL. But I think he is. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I would want Walker over Etienne. Now, if you're in a full IDP league, so the full that's breaking my brain a little bit. I would take the early Walker
second. Side. I would take the early second in an IDP league.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
That's basically like a late first.
I mean, they're close enough, right? They're close enough. I honestly think Etienne's probably a little bit better. If you would have asked me if you would have asked me 3 hours ago.
If you get Etienne and a late first for Walker, that's a smash.
Yeah. I guess if you would have asked me which running back would I prefer the Kansas City Chiefs to have 3 hours ago, I would have said Travis Etienne.
Why?
I just like him better. I like his style. I just like kind of like, I don't know. I've always liked him. I've liked him since he was a prospect.
His advanced stuff was bad last year though. And it's been bad for years.
Yeah.
And I mean I give him credit for producing last year, obviously, but like he didn't have like in my stuff. I think I have like 12 different stats and he didn't hit the 50th percentile in a single one. Every single box was red. So I think he's I don't know. I think that was a bad contract for the Saints to sign. I think he would have been, but I think it would be good for fantasy.
Relatively. I mean, this is something that maybe impacts only me to a serious degree. The Ravens are not tendering running back Keaton Mitchell. He will be a free agent. Watch for the Giants here. Well, he'll immediately be the best running back on the Giants. So there we go. He's not going to be Scatterboo.
Bigger news. Sam Sherman just tweeted out Bashal Tootin capitulation, 88% loading.
Wow, there we go. I mean, so it took him 2 hours to decide that the take was bad. Good for him. Shit. I guess we kind of.
Ken Walker is a much better player, but Etienne's in a much better situation for running back fantasy points. I mean, I think it's a good situation for Etienne, but since when? What? Because the Chiefs have had complete incompetence at running back for years. We can't get excited about Chiefs running backs anymore. What is this?
Yeah. This is recency bias brain. This is I'm just not engaging. I'm not engaging.
Gonna be like a first round pick.
I'm making a mental note right now for the next 9 months that I'm not going to engage with people who are arguing me in bad faith that Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, Brashard Smith, Jerick McKinnon, Damian Williams, Darrell Williams are the same thing as Kenneth Walker. I'm just making a mental note. I took CJ Stroud, by the way. We were running out of quarterbacks.
Oh,
So
all right.
we can get Jalen Noel or Dalton Schultz or whatever. It's just there's this range on DraftKings where once Malik Willis goes, it's the wild west. It's like just like I've seen Mendoza go in the 10th round before.
Sam just tweeted out, "Save us, Rachaad White."
Save us, Rachaad White.
Telling myself it's actually good for me if his ADP rises, so I can hate this price even harder. I mean, I do want them to sign Rachaad White because I don't want to draft Tootin in like the 3rd round. I want people to be funning Tootin.
Are you a Debo guy?
No. I would be a Josh Downs guy or a Cooper Jr. guy.
You know what? Actually, we had gotten a question about that I didn't get to ask you. But so Michael Pittman Jr. is gone.
Yeah.
Josh Downs moved to where in Indianapolis Colts fan Jacob Sanderson's mental model for how the team organizes themselves on offense?
So he's not going to play every 2 wide receiver set because he's tiny. So there's run blocking limitations. But he's going to play in more of them than I think he's ever played before. So, I mean, I think it's just roles. Like Pierce is going to be the deep intermediate guy. Warren's going to be the RPO guy. And Downs is going to be the intermediate man beater. So Pittman, I think, is the one who overlaps the most with Downs' role from like a deployment perspective. So I think it's a pretty big win. So I think he'll be like, I think he'll go from, what did he have last year? Like in like the high 60s in route share, probably. I bet he goes into like the low 80s this year. I mean, if he stays at this price, I think he's fantastic. Like I would take him above, I think every wide receiver that was drafted before him for like 2 rounds.
All right. The Browns signed a guard.
Yeah, but he's a bad guard.
You got to go to a different fantasy football channel to get guard takes.
He's well, I mean, yeah. So I was going to make a joke that I shouldn't make on someone else's channel, but he's not a good job. He's not a good guard.
There we go. Okay, we're up. We're not Debo boys. How about the news that my guy Travis Kelce not calling it quits?
Back. Should we take him?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm okay with Debo. Denzel Boston's a 1st-round wide receiver who's just like available at pick 152.
Okay, well Kelce went, so we can take Denzel Boston.
Okay.
I've been spooked on Denzel Boston since we did the rookie ranking show of like, so my stuff didn't really like him. Karane's stuff didn't really like him. I watched him and I didn't really like him. And then Karane's comp being one of the most notorious busts in fantasy football history that I still think is good just has me being like, I don't know about this Denzel Boston guy.
I mean, I'm not that into him, but he's going to go round 1. So like, if you're telling me 13th round, I mean, I took Matthew Golden in like the 7th last year, and I hated him a lot more than Denzel Boston.
Oh, buddy, the Mike Clay projections just dropped today.
Oh,
not super bullish. Oh, more bullish than I thought they'd be on Golden. 600 yards, 4 touchdowns, for Golden. Which
I'm
is
just liking like 17 different Sam Sherman tweets right now.
Man,
including I didn't even see this 2 days ago, but he tweeted out, "Don't fall victim to projectable volume, one of the easiest traps. I personally make a massive exception for day 3 sophomore running back from Virginia Tech, averaged 3.7 yards per carry last year." And then I actually did see that tweet, and I didn't reply because I for one time in my life I didn't take the bait.
You didn't get goated.
I didn't see that his follow up was he said, when the entire point of your tweet was to bait Jacob Sanderson and he doesn't respond.
I mean, I think anyone who gets to go play for the 49ers is probably good. Like the 49ers it's just like fantasy point. It's just, they just get given out to everybody. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
It's got to be good, right? Kyle Shanahan's wide receiver 1. That's a good meme.
It's huge. It's great.
Speaking of memetics. All right. Well, probably don't want to take Alvin Kamara or James Conner, given that they are both dead. Do we want to take new Jacksonville Jaguar Rachaad White?
Wait, is he that's just a troll. Never mind.
That's just a troll. Aaron Jones, Sean Tucker. We are running out of running backs.
I mean, White's gonna have a role, so sure.
Debo is still there.
Or we could take Charbonnet. I mean,
Dude, it's pick 161. I'm taking Debo. I'm taking Debo.
Totally
Although I will say, certainly slightly bearish that Debo was not amongst the first wave of wide receiver signings. Certainly slightly bearish that Debo is that we got Wandale Robinson before we got Debo.
Yeah, fair enough.
What if Shanahan doesn't know how to use an actual good wide receiver? I mean, I'm slightly worried about that.
Really good wide receivers.
Okay. Who are these really good San Francisco 49ers wide receivers?
Well, Debo was really good for a while.
Debo was really good, but in a very unique way. Like Mike Evans is just a prototypical good NFL wide
Ayuk
receiver.
was fantastic before he got hurt in the most. I guess you have an ideological issue with Brandon Ayuk.
It's just one of those guys, right? We all let's just be honest. We all have these guys that for really no good reason you just do not like. Brandon Ayuk is one of the guys, and ultimately history is on my side. History is going to prove me correct on just not liking Brandon Ayuk. I think the fact that guys like Kendrick Bourne and Richie James can just pop up and have these all-time memorable nuke games, to me, that honestly is maybe more impressive about what Shanahan can do than making Jimmy Garoppolo lead the league in EPA. I think it's actually honestly more impressive that he can do that. Imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
Imagine Kyle Shanahan with a game management coach in his life.
Oh, it'd be unreal.
I wonder if the front office has ever been like, "Hey, Kyle, would you be interested in that? We'll hire you a guy." Ayuk is not going to be a Patriot. Ayuk is going to be a Commander. I think they just have to decide how much money.
He's going to be a Commander or a
street free agent. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
A Winnipeg.
He's either going to be on the Will Fuller plan or
it's
going to be a
the year Karain won Best Ball Mania, for most of the offseason, Will Fuller was his most drafted player.
Wow. Well, maybe this year we got to draft Brandon Ayuk then. All right, let's see so we're 2-4-7-1 right now.
2-4-7-1.
Are there any quarterbacks left? We're gonna need one at some point.
They're the drag, so we can just wait. We could take one of these guys in the 20th round.
Or Gino or Tua. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Let's just take Schultz for the stack. We have Stroud.
Yeah, that works. That's fine.
And then I've been doing a lot is I take a lot of Aaron Rodgers because I'm just very convinced. There's no way he's quit. I know he always says blah, blah, blah. He wants a retirement tour so bad.
Yeah. I was doing this last year too in the early drafts before Rodgers committed, where he was free, and I was just every draft we know he's going to Pittsburgh.
My two most drafted players on DraftKings are Aaron Rodgers and Eli Stowers. Never, ever let them know where you're slapping from. You got to come from the right wing. You got to come from the left wing. You cannot let them know your next slap move. TJ Hawkinson, that's a sidekick recommended guy that I'm just that guy doesn't exist for me.
Thank you.
Never, ever clicking that guy. All right. We still need 5 more for this 3-3-3. There are 328 of you watching. Are you telling me that I can't find 5 more of you with 333 disposable dollars to put in a DraftKings best ball draft on March 9th? Are you a Trey Harris guy? I'm not really.
I'm definitely a Trey Harris guy.
There was a report
already on the team.
Yeah. There was a report that they are trying to get rid of Quentin Johnston. The subtext being though, we think QJ sucks, but we also think Trey Harris sucks because we're looking to get a difference-making wide receiver, which was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Trey Harris probably does suck, but I don't know. He had a few moments last year.
He had 997 yards per route run in college.
He did 5.12. I mean, even if they got rid of QJ, and replace him with one guy, Trey is still a starter unless they also bring back Keenan or they bring back two guys.
Are you leaning towards they will bring Keenan back? I probably am slightly leaning towards they're going to
I think that they know. I feel like Keenan is going to be like a later signing, and the Chargers probably have like bigger dreams. But if those dreams don't come to fruition, then they feel like they could always know they could just circle back and bring back Keenan. Like kind of with the Broncos with Dobbins, I think. Like they're like Dobbins would go back. The Broncos know he'd come back. They tried on Montgomery. They tried on Etienne. Doesn't seem like they're going to land anything. Maybe they try on Dowdle, but I think end of the day they just end up giving JK a call, and I feel like Keenan would happily come in for another year. Dude, I think they know that Keenan would either do like another year with the Chargers or retire, so like they can kind of just chill on that for a while.
If the Chargers bring in Rico Dowdle, that is not great for Hampton.
Oh no, I meant Denver. Chargers aren't going to.
Oh, well, they might.
I think the Chargers.
They brought in Najee
last year. Might bring in. Well, but in the Mike McDaniel world, like I could see the Chargers bringing in like Keaton Mitchell, or like Sean
that
Tucker.
would, dude. Oh my God, that would be disastrous for me. All right, give me a running back dart here. We got plenty. We got plenty of guys. They're all
okay.
bad.
You want a gross one? You want a really gross
one?
Do. How about Caleb Johnson?
I've taken some Caleb Johnson. I'm manning up.
Gainwell's gone.
Yeah. That actually, you know what? That's kind of sneaky that Gainwell is gone. I'm actually very surprised by that. I did not think Kenneth Gainwell would leave the confines of a place where
I thought he would resign too.
Yeah.
I thought he'd resign too. And I think that this could be a more natural setup to their backfield because Warren is good at all the Gainwell stuff. Like he's one of the best pass protecting backs in the league. I think it was just last year was his first year as a starter. They didn't trust Caleb. They did trust Gainwell. So they figure, okay, well, we'll use Gainwell at what he does best as the pass catching back. And Warren was kind of this weird grinder role. But I think in a perfect world, they use Warren as the lead back, but gets all of the pass catching stuff. And then instead of that being their RB2, instead the RB2 is Caleb Johnson, and he gets like 130 early down carries. And then Warren, gets his 200 carries, but like 70 targets.
I mean, it's certainly a team that we know is going to use their running backs a ton.
It's awesome for Warren.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely good for Warren. Warren's a huge.
I mean, the running back targets will probably be a little less crazy this year because they got Pittman, so it's not like Kenny Gainwell's their wide receiver 2 again, but they actually have 2 real wide receivers now.
Jaden Blue.
No.
Jaden Blue.
No.
Adam Randall. Braylon Allen.
Better than Jaden Blue.
George Helani. Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon.
Quint? Okay, I could do Ollie. Sure.
Let's do Ollie Gordon. MF and Doak Walker Award winner.
Did you see the Matthew Berry blurb about Jaden Blue in his Combine article?
Oh God, no! It's probably so bad. I did not see it.
He was like, yeah, he was like the Cowboys like bringing back Javonte wasn't a surprise. And then when I asked, but he said it sounds like the Cowboys will still be interested in adding a second running back in the draft. When I brought up the involvement of second-year back Jaden Blue, all sources literally laughed.
I guess that's what you get for wearing Louis Vuitton cleats and getting a blister. God. I mean,
am I thinking of the wrong article? Because now I'm searching for the quote, but I definitely read this. Oh, maybe I'm in the wrong. What? Okay. I know I read this, so I'm trying not to spread misinformation. But I'm wondering if it's possible the wrong article because now I'm trying to name search Jaden Blue in this article, and I'm not seeing it. But I know I read this. Cowboys.
I mean, I'll say this. Even if it's not true, it definitely sounds true.
I know for a fact that I read this, so I'm trying to find the source because I might have given you the wrong source, but I know I read the Jaden Blue laughed.
Well, that is very much in the spirit of this program is incorrectly sourced information, so it's okay.
I'm gonna find this. I know I read this. Oh, I did have the wrong source. It was a similar thing. It was Roster Watch released a similar idea to the Matthew Berry article, but probably less reliable. But they also did like here's a bunch of things that we heard when we were talking to teams in Indianapolis, and it was Cowboys sources literally laughed at us when we asked about Jaden Blue's future in Dallas. They've just extended Javonte Williams and are shopping 2026 markets for another back. He just needs to grow up, said a source.
Honestly, the roster watch guys, they are in the trenches. They go to like all this stuff. They go to the Senior Bowl. They go to the Shrine. Like I've been on their show a ton, so I'm down.
So I apologize to the masses for misquoting, but I didn't make it up out of thin air. There was a literally laughed report on Jaden Blue.
Who is your favorite shitter quarterback?
Probably Geno. Well, I guess Tua now, right? Like he's going to sign in Atlanta. Geno lost his chance in Miami. I assume Kyler goes to Minnesota, so Geno's probably just hoping for the Jets. So let's do Tua. Well, we did have Garrett. We could have got the Geno Garrett.
We could have got the Geno Garrett stack. Oh yeah. God. Well, I mean, so this is the thing that is so different about these drafts now versus what they're going to feel like in 2 months when the season is over. Is one, all the rookie wish casting, it's all done. Like some of Brazel, Bernard, Lane, whoever, they're going to be undraftable. They're going to have been like round 6 picks, right? We don't know which ones. We don't know why. Injuries, whatever, doesn't matter. They're going to be undraftable. Rookie tight end, same deal, right? Justin Jolly. Oh, turns out Justin Jolly sucks. He was an undrafted free agent. Can't click him. And then the quarterbacks, right? Because every team's like musical chairs will have stopped, and the quarterbacks are going to be where they are. And we're going to be like, oh, well, I guess we can't take Kirk Cousins anymore, or I guess we can't take Geno anymore. We can't take Tua anymore. All right, we need one more. Actually, we need a tight end. We need a tight end. All my favorite tight ends are gone. Do you have a favorite?
Is Max Clare available, or is he gone?
Oh, he's probably just way down in my rankings. Max Clare is gone.
Okay, let's take Chig. He's a free agent. He might get a sexy contract.
Chig is a free agent and might run good. That is true. Geno, I think, is a pretty good bet to start week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty much down to the Jets though, or the Cardinals, I guess, depending on how much you believe the Jimmy G reporting. Because I mean, Minnie's going Kyler. I think the Geno had a good chance to wind up in Miami, but that's closed with Willis. I think ideal scenario for Geno would have been the Cardinals signed Malik Willis, and then Miami signed Geno. But now the Cardinals, it sounds like they were Malik Willis, and their backup plan was Jimmy Garoppolo for some reason. So I think Geno is probably Jets or bust. But it does sound like the Jets are interested in him. So I think that's probably where he winds up.
Do you think there is any chance that Ty Simpson can be this year's Tyler Shuck, where we all pointed and laughed at him, and it turns out he was actually good?
Yeah, it's totally possible. I guess the Browns are also in play for Geno too. I don't know what they're like. I don't know how to seriously to take the idea that they're actually just going to have a competition between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. Like, that sounds preposterous to me.
That is ultimately the worst quarterback competition of all time.
And the only one who's been rumored, well, it's going to get worse because it's been rumored they're in on Anthony Richardson. So it might be a 3-way competition between Anthony Richardson, Shedeur Sanders, and Deshaun Watson. Like, that's like an Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Like ultimately, that could be the worst. Like, I hope they do Hard Knocks for that.
And the best option there is Anthony Richardson, I think.
I mean, I think like honestly, and I never speak. I would never say anything good about this person. But
You're taking Deshaun.
Right? If those are your options, your options are Shedeur, Anthony Richardson, or Deshaun. I think it has to be Deshaun because at least Deshaun has done good quarterback play on the field. We have not seen any of that from Shedeur or Anthony Richardson. I mean, Anthony Richardson has had, I guess, quarters where he's been good before, right?
Yeah. He's had games. He's had games where he's been good. Oh, there you go. What did I tell you? I was like, the Chargers just need to sign a blocking tight end, Charlie Collar. Welcome to the Chargers.
People forget Charlie Collar was a straight up receiving tight end at Iowa State. That is a true people forget situation. Normally when people say people forget, they're referencing something that no one has ever forgotten. But in that situation, Charlie Collar, I believe. Well, now I gotta go.
Dude,
look.
is Arden Key any good? Doesn't that guy suck?
Arden Key?
Yeah, the Colts just gave him $20 million.
I have no idea.
Is he going to be the key to our defense? I don't think so. He went to
Charlie,
LSU, I think.
There you go. Charlie Collar outproduced Jalen Noel
defense grade
in his final season.
He was 24th among edges, 115 qualifying edges, and run defense grade. I guess that's okay.
Hey,
98th.
They laughed at me. They laughed at me. That is literally the Harbaugh connection. Charlie Collar, Baltimore Raven.
That's true.
They laughed at me. They acted like these brothers can't send each other a text message.
Well, I didn't dispute that. I just said they had no need for likely. They're just going to take the other tight end who's in the actual blocking role. That makes sense.
True.
We were each half right. You were right on where he would come from, and I was right on what role they needed a tight end for.
Which by the way is so stupid because like that is literally like this is a multi-billion dollar business. But that literally is how some things are done in the NFL. Is it literally is someone and they send a text message to someone else they know. It's crazy, but that really is how it works. It more on the coaching side where you see like obvious coaching situations, but dude, they gave him the full Josh Oliver. 3 years, $24 million for Charlie Collar.
the Josh Oliver level exception.
Okay. I guess honestly, really the only guy I've not truly talked through is Wandale. So you've got
disaster.
Well, you got year 2, Cam Ward. You have like there. This is I guess it does kind of feel like the same sense of fake optimism that people had about Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins and stuff. But people I think are relatively excited about the Salah Dable team. I mean, obviously Dable was the guy who got Wandale all those stats. I kind of like it. I kind of think it'll probably work for fantasy. I mean, I
think it'll work for fantasy. Yeah, it's a ridiculous reality signing. I think just the money.
What were they going to do though? What were the Tennessee Titans going to spend? They had $96 million in cap space. What were they going to spend all that on?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I assume they did probably offer Alec Pierce a massive amount of money, and he said no. So I guess what are you going to do?
I mean, is Calvin Ridley going to come back? Like, is that going to be their?
It's bleak, man.
Is Calvin Ridley under contract? I don't know. Do you want to do another one? Or you got to get out of here.
I probably got to get some writing done because I got 2 shows to do today, and I'm hopeful to get like a piece up for tomorrow on all these signings. So I'm gonna get out of here, but it's been a pleasure, and I will see you tomorrow night for ADP chasing. We'll have a whole lot of news to break down. Might be a record episode length. Yeah, you will see me tomorrow. I can't even do it. Tomorrow. What do you do tomorrow? Tomorrow. Yes. Tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. All right. See you later. All right. Have a good one. Take it easy, buddy. All right, guys. Wait, are we gonna do the dumb draft of agency news? Are you going to draft Joe Tooney again?
Uh,
Are you going to draft Bijan Johnson?
I mean, first off, I would like to go back to that draft and see how obviously correct I was that the Bears
Yeah.
offensive line was literally like the most impactful thing of the offseason. So I would be happy for us to relitigate that. Yeah.
All right. See you later. That was awesome.
Later. All right, guys, there you go. You can go check out more of Jacob's work over on Thinking About Thinking. I'm going to hop into another DK $10 draft here while we see if we can get this 3-3-3 filled. We are 8 out of 12. So it could happen. It could happen. We'll see. I certainly hope it fills. Yeah, we're going to go hop back in here. Shout out to Jacob for joining us on the program. Why would they get rid of Ridley? Good to have a vet in the room, especially without the cap dollar worries. I mean, just because he was like bad and they're going in a different direction now. Like the Titans are kind of doing what the Dolphins are doing in terms of they are just going they're going full youth movement. So is this confirmed? There you go. All right. Here you go. 2-year deal for J.K. Dobbins back to the Denver Broncos per source. So RJ Harvey, who was a momentary winner in fantasy football, RJ Harvey now a massive loser in fantasy football. The way that the touches were distributed between those two guys has to have you feeling pretty bearish. Now, this does probably mean that Harvey, I would guess, actually is going to get too cheap. Like my gut instinct is that Harvey should kind of go in like the 70s or the 80s, right about where Jalen Warren goes. But then again, that in and of itself also feels too cheap for me. Like that feels too cheap because I mean, Warren or Harvey was still like a relatively good fantasy football asset, even with the presence of J.K. Dobbins. And also, like, we can get, like, J.K. Dobbins might just be cooked. Like, J.K. Dobbins could be entering into that James Conner tier where he is literally just cooked. Like, he can't play. So that's definitely possible. I would, yeah, Dobbins honestly might just be sneaky cover. This might be the equivalent of the like whatever, let's say the Jags signed Rachaad White or whatever. It could be a similar thing there. I mean, Dobbins is going to be paid dick. This contract is going to be like nothing. It's going to be like $4 million a year, maybe. I mean, he's coming off of a Liz Frank, so it's not going to be a big contract. All right, draft number 2. Starting here, 1 hour, 37 minutes in. We are going to begin with Bijan Robinson out of the 102. And we're gonna have a nice little time here. You know what sucks? Realizing your team is going to spend the 5th overall pick on a running back. Well, not if someone else takes him first, buddy. Oh, wow. This would be a real sweaty guy trying to press the button meme for me. Keaton Mitchell to Jacksonville would be very hard for me to deal with. Probably I would probably have a Jacksonville running back on every single team in fantasy football. If their back was Bijan Tootin, LaQuint Allen Jr., and Keaton Mitchell, I don't think I'd be able to help myself. I think I'd be all in, probably. Spinning every signing to be bullish for our slappy players is a fun game. I agree. It is a very fun game. And I mean, I would say most of the signings today have been generally pretty good for fantasy football. Like, I don't think any of them have like super bummed me out yet, which is nice. Man, I don't know if you would rather see Tootin alone, because I'm telling you guys, if it is just Bijan Tootin in that backfield, he is going to get so expensive. If the Jaguars backfield is Tootin, LaQuint Allen, and a rookie, I mean, Byshell Tootin is going in this range. He is going in the Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving, Etienne range of guys for sure. By the way, I will have rankings updated for everyone. If you are a patreon.com/Davis Maddox subscriber, I will have all that stuff updated for you this evening. The Chiefs lose Brian Cook. They have to go secondary at 9. I think they're going trenches. My read on the situation is that they are going trenches. So whether that be defensive linemen, whether that be offensive linemen, I couldn't say. That's my read on the situation. Yeah, Allgeier to Arizona feels a little messy. Now, what I would say is that ultimately it's probably worse. It's horrible for the Benson drafters. I mean, I would say Trey Benson is basically cooked at this point. There's not really an out for Trey Benson. Maybe Trey Benson ends up getting traded. Kenneth Walker goes at 16 in this draft, by the way, which is right about where I'd have him. So there you go. There you go. You have someone who disagrees. Biggest running back winner is Allgeier. Well, he's definitely not the biggest winner because the biggest winner is Kenneth Walker. All right. The Fantasy Sopranos on Twitter told me that they were coming. So we are 8 out of 12 in the 3-3-3. Let's see if we can fill it. I dare you guys. I dare you guys. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they hate Benson. I think they just realize he's probably cooked. I think they just realize he's probably over. Love has been mocked heavily to the Saints. Yeah, well, that's definitely not happening now. My current prediction is that the Washington Commanders select Jeremiah Love at 7. Current. If I was going to do a mock draft right now, I would say that he goes. I would say that he goes there at 7. Jeremiah Love is a Giant. Maybe. We're getting very high on Tootin. I think we are taking Byshell Tootin as high as pick 40, maybe, if the room. Damn, I thought I might have a chance to get a Bijan Bowers team. So we got Bijan. Let's just do. You know what? Let's take the big dog. I'm feeling a little spicy today. Let's take the big dog. What odds do I have that Rodgers plays? My mental model has Rodgers 93% to play. That's my mental math on that. Doesn't mean I'm right. Yeah, so I would say Fresno Kid on Rico Dowdle. I would say maybe Rico Dowdle has multiple suitors and he has not decided yet. So maybe the NFL doesn't hate him. Maybe he wants more money than Tyler Allgeier is going to get. I could certainly see that being true. I moved Kenneth Walker up to the middle of the second round. I'm going to take George Pickens. So we have Bijan Robinson, Derrick Henry, and George Pickens. Steelers have not offered a contract. I mean, I don't know. I still think pretty high. I think Rico Dowdle is good. Ooh, what are the Patriots going to do about wide receiver? Well, let's take a look at the 2026 remaining free agent wide receivers because there are still plenty of guys out there, I think. Why do I think Rico is good but not Javonte? Because I'm biased, Jake. Little thing you might like to know called being biased. I feel like these surprisingly high contracts don't really go out past 3 p.m. Eastern on free agency day. You are correct. So I guess the Patriots, I mean, their options at this point are Jennings. Debo could be an option. Darnell Mooney feels like a very Patriots signing. Christian Kirk also feels very Patriots-y. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, Tyquan, maybe sign Tyquan back or something. Could certainly be. I think they're trying to trade for AJ Brown. I mean, isn't that what they're doing? They're trying to trade for AJ Brown. And I think they'll probably succeed. I think they will probably succeed. it feels wide open for that to happen. Yeah, Kirk. Yeah, noted Patriots fan Nick knows that Christian Kirk is a very, very Patriot style player. I do think that Tyreek Hill will probably come back to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that it's going to be on a pretty small contract because Tyreek Hill had to have another cleanup procedure. And so he just is not going to be ready to play. I also think the Kansas City Chiefs are they're a little bit in the lurch because they are trying to figure out if Rashee Rice is going to be able to play. Now, they are not going to be saying any of that stuff publicly, but just because they are not saying it publicly doesn't mean that they're not concerned. Like Rashee Rice is a convicted felon who has a pending civil case that could very easily leave him suspended for an entire season. And so maybe do you want Tyreek more or less in that situation? Maybe you want Tyreek more in that situation because you can probably get him on the veteran minimum because he got released. I believe the way that Tyreek's contract is going to work because he didn't get claimed by anyone. So I think the way that Tyreek's contract work is, remember the Russell Wilson deal where the Denver Broncos were paying all of his money so the Chiefs can give him the vet men, and it just ends up being offsetting. Evans ADP right now, I would say I would put Evans in this range of guys at wide receiver. I would move Evans from where I have him. I have Evans at 60. I think I would probably move him up another 5-ish spots to where like Tate and Watson are going. It looks like my updated ranking on DJ Moore does not look good. Looks like I am going to have to move him up even more if I want to get any of him. All right, let's do. I mean, I would have loved to have gotten Luther Burden. Adams is in play here. I could take Javonte here. I could take Loveland here with Bijan and with Derrick Henry. Damn. All right. Okay. Well, everyone. All right. We'll take Davante Adams. I mean, that's a huge dipperino on Adams. So yeah, I'll take Adams at pick 47. And then the tough thing about Adams on DraftKings is that Stafford is so expensive, so you don't really want to stack him. I think Stafford goes like 83rd overall or something like that on DraftKings, which is just it's way too high for a pass only quarterback. All right. What do we want to do here? I'm kind of hip to taking Byshell Tootin here. Definitely not taking Harvey here. Let's just take Lamar. Let's do the Ravens stack. We'll do Bijan, Derrick Henry, George Pickens, Davante Adams, and Lamar Jackson. I'm definitely going to move Jaylen Warren up a little. I don't think I'm going to move Jaylen Warren up a ton. Definitely owe an updated set of rankings to everyone over at patreon.com/DavisMattek. This afternoon / this evening, I will get to work on that when this stream ends. I'm probably going to move RJ Harvey down a good bit. Just what is concerning to me more than the fact that they re-signed the same guy from last year is that it just seemed like they didn't really ever want to totally turn the backfield over in that spot. And it's not great when you get and remember, RJ Harvey is an older quote unquote rookie. So last year, let's see, Dobbins got injured in week 10. So in that time frame from weeks 1 to 11, you got 32% of the snaps for Harvey, 51% for Dobbins, 65% of the rushes for Dobbins, 22% for Harvey, more routes and a much higher targets per route run for Harvey, very little of the short down and distance, almost none of the inside the 5, very little 2-minute drill. I wonder if they also bring in another 2-minute drill guy. It's definitely not good for Harvey, but it's a lot better than Etienne, right? It's a lot better than Kenneth Walker. It's better than Allgeier or whatever. Do you think rankings are more misleading than helpful? Wouldn't tiers better reflect ranges of outcomes? Basically, you want to randomize within tiers. Yeah, 100%. So when I do like my redraft rankings, so like when like my fantasy football guide comes out and stuff, like when we're talking redraft, I certainly think that tiers are more helpful. And I think it's very helpful when you are drafting best ball to think in tiers. So for example, I would sort of put Mike Evans went at 49 here. I would sort of put Evans, McLaurin, Tate, Waddle, Tyson, Lemon. All those guys are sort of in a tier for me. And I do kind of randomize them when I'm drafting. But when you are actually putting the guys in a group, I mean, you do actually have to order them. And also when you're doing the sidekick, you also have to literally put them in an order. Kevin, boy, do I have the draft for you. Kevin, we need 4 more in the DraftKings 333 NFL Best Ball $101,000 combine, 20K to first early bird tournament. Again, shout out to our friends over at DraftKings for helping us out here on the channel this week. Actually, the last 2 weeks, it's been very nice. It's been very nice to be partnered with them. So shout out to them for that. I guess the problem becomes if you have plus 12 versus ADP, you will never get anyone else. Exactly. Yeah. And I do have multiple spots like that. So I just have to know. Like I know on DraftKings when I'm doing my and I'm going through and making all my slow draft picks, I have to consciously not just click the top guy every time. Because guess what? The top guy is my ranking. So because it's on my ranking, I probably really like it. Probably a good indicator that I feel good about that guy if it's in my ranking. All right, there we go. We'll take Makai Lemon. That feels like, is that a Dipperino? Makai Lemon at 71. Ooh, don't love that because I definitely had been drafting a little bit of Mariota. I'll tell you what, Marcus Mariota back to the Commanders makes me feel very strongly that Kyler Murray is going to be a Minnesota Viking because there was a KOC connection for Mariota there. All right, so we got wow, Sutton's still available at 74. Oh no, I'm taking Harold Fannin Jr. For sure, taking Harold Fannin Jr. if Sweetleaf doesn't take him. Am I maxing the $1 best ball drafts on DraftKings? I haven't yet, but maybe I should. Maybe I should just do them all at once. Damn. All right, Fannin went. Damn, what do I want to do now? Is Jalen Warren? No. Oh, damn. All the running backs went. All right, let's take Tyson. Double up on rookie wide receivers. So Lamar, Bijan, Derrick Henry, George Pickens, Devontae Adams, Makai Lemon, and Jordan Tyson. Yes, Dewalian, I will give you a sauce. Rodgers not going right back to Pittsburgh makes me wonder if he's trying to mix in on the Minnesota landing spot per rumors last year. No way. Is this real? Kyler Murray to the Jets? I don't think so, bro. Okay, not real. You can't come at me like that. Kyler is going to the Vikings, I think. You said that so declaratively. I believed in you. As of right now, teams that have not acquired a new player, the Seattle Seahawks, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Denver Broncos, and the Philadelphia Eagles. All right. Well, where did Jalen Warren win at 68? DeAndre Swift a faller. Tootin at 56 in this draft. I mean, I tell you what, I definitely like Tootin more than Harvey. I definitely want Tootin more than Harvey. That much is for sure. I'm off the Harvey bandwagon right now. And I liked Harvey as a prospect, but he just didn't hit right away. And when those older running back prospects don't hit right away, it's not great. Rico to Seattle feels like a lock. I mean, Seattle definitely needs to be cooking something because their running back room is Charbonnet and Helani, and that is it. So of the available remaining guys, these are the available guys. So you've got Dowdle, you've got Pacheco. Don't really think you want that. You've got Mixon, Michael Carter, probably not. Brian Robinson. Could Brian Robinson be the answer? Could Brian Robinson? I would sign Brian Robinson. Is there a way to have a ranking that has a randomized button that adds more randomness? Yes, that is basically what the sidekick does. Yeah. That is one of the actually that's probably one of the things I love the most about the sidekick soups. Keaton Mitchell to Seattle. Let me tell you, if Keaton Mitchell signs a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Seattle Seahawks, I'm rich. I'm rich. I will be winning. I'll be winning all these contests on DraftKings. Where are we at? Where are we at on the 333? 9 out of 12. Come on, guys. 3 more. 3 more. 3 more. 3 more for the 333. Read the signs. Read the numbers, boys. Jonah Coleman goes from the University of Washington to the Seahawks in Seattle, Washington. Would not be the first time. Missile Bros Unite. Yeah, there you go. Great minds. Is Jonah Coleman a Seahawks style running back? I guess I would have to think more about that. I feel like they tend to go more for the athletes. What do the Ravens do for backup running back? Drafting one, I would assume. I'm not going to take Pollard. Well, maybe I should. Looks like the sidekick has been updated. Sure, sidekick. You want me to draft Wandale? I'll draft a little Wandale action there. Wandale at 95. Yeah, Saints draft a wide receiver at 8 with Etienne. I'm so mad they let Shaheed go because Shaheed would be such a good Batman for Carnell Tate, or such a good Robin for Carnell Tate. I mean, I think Seattle certainly could do something like this, drafting 3 running backs from the back end of a draft. Like some team is probably going to do that, like a real scattershot approach. All right. I just kind of want to take a running back, but there's just nothing. Yeah. All right. Pollard it is. Hope Pollard doesn't get replaced by Jeremiah Love in the NFL draft. Yes, Mike Washington feels much more like a Seahawks running back than Jonah Coleman. I can get the Ward, Wandale, Pollard stack. But yeah, Mike Washington to Seattle. I think I'm in on that. Some of us, yeah, there you go, Kevin. You are the ball knower, all tootin', no Harvey. I think I have now psyoped myself into thinking that the Titans are going to be good. Dable is a good offensive coordinator. Cam Ward, the ball knowers say Cam Ward is good. I tend to think Cam Ward is a lot better than his metrics. I have actually not thought about this. Have you guys thought about this? What do the Ravens do for a backup running back? I mean, they're a team that backup running back is pretty important. So they let Keaton Mitchell go. I mean, I guess they still have Rasheen Ali. How old is Justice Hill? Is Justice Hill an unrestricted free agent? So they let Mitchell go. Keaton Mitchell is gone. Okay, so they still have Justice Hill and they have Rasheen Ali. So maybe they like Rasheen Ali. Yeah, could just be a Jerome Ford, Miles Sanders ass signing. I guess that's possible. Justice Hill. I love Justice Hill coming out of Oklahoma State. Didn't quite happen. In fact, one of my first viral fantasy football articles was Justice Hill wants you to win your fantasy football league this year. Turns out he did actually want you to win your fantasy football league this year, but it was a really nice thought. Just did not quite pan out that way. Honestly, Rasheen Ali, I kind of liked him. At Marshall. I actually was drafting some Rasheen Ali teams 2 years ago before when the year after Mr. Missile had torn. All right. Well, I guess so. What does the running back like sleeper landscape look like now? Corum is unaffected. Gainwell probably. I mean, probably Gainwell is definitely worse with the Buccaneers than he would have been with the Steelers. I did not realize Jordan Mason's ADP had shot up that high. Wow. So everyone just thinks Jordan Mason is the starting running back for the Minnesota Vikings. Huh. I'm stunned by that. Would not have been the way I reacted to that news, because it feels like they're pretty, like the Vikings are pretty live to add in like a 0 and a day 3 guy. Like the Vikings are, I mean, you can't go into the year with Jordan Mason and Cam Akers. Is Cam Akers on their roster, or do they have to do their yearly trade a 7th round conditional pick for Cam Akers? Fundamental misunderstanding of the Vikings drafting incompetency, taking Jadarian Price in the 2nd. Honestly, I didn't love Bucky Irving in the 3rd to begin with, but he's perfectly fine. Gainwell is probably a better counter pairing than I don't want to take Jake Ferguson. I don't want to do that. Let's take, is there anything at running back here? Whatever, I'll take Mike Washington. Where did I just got Mike Washington at 119? All right, we might have jumped the shark. There you go. Cam Akers is on the Seahawks until the Minnesota Vikings trade for him. All right, whatever. I will take Jake Ferguson. Fine. Jake Ferguson. Come on in. Honestly, same. Gainwell looking like so good last year was legitimately startling. I was not prepared for that. Like I was not ready to be jamming Kenneth Gainwell at $6,500 on DraftKings. I mean, Jalen Warren will rise. I don't think Charbonnet will rise all that much. Like the Charbonnet thing is more about how healthy he is, right? What do we think the earliest Charbonnet on the field is? Like the absolute early Charbs is going to be able to play will be October, November. I don't know. I'm just not that, I'm not that into it conceptually. By the way, breaking news. We got to 10 out of 12. 2 more. 2 more for the 333. Someone hop in, fill our dreams. Wow. Yes, I do. I do remember the DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Kenneth Gainwell Eagles lotto. I do indeed remember. People remember that what did Penny end up retiring after that? He did, right? Rashad Penny, both a Best Ball Mania winner on Liam's team, and then one of the worst picks in the history of fantasy football very shortly after that. I don't know. Would Rico be a Pittsburgh signing? I don't know if Rico Dowdle is a Pittsburgh Steelers signing. Wow, 11 out of 12. All right, we need one more hero. One more hero to hop in the DK 333, and then we're off and running. I could, you know what? I guess I hadn't really thought about this, but this is actually quite a good point, which is that Charbonnet could be a very good piece for robust running back builds given his injury timeline. Wow, and we did it. We filled it. All right, who are these heroes? We got Dorito 1420. We got my guy Goods here, 4 pieces. Wreak Havoc, Crams 14, Shady Advice, BHO Kevin, Shoobs, Clem, Sacrilegious, and Chris Air. It's time to do battle. 333. I'm in this DK 333. All right, 2 hours and 5 minutes into the stream, we filled a $333 fantasy football best ball tournament. I hope we don't have anybody autoing this. I hope we have zero autos, because this is for $333. Yeah, cook these clankers. All right. Yes. So Ron, you make a great point. Time to see how Davis really feels about Tootin and Walker. I'm taking him at 18. I'll tell you what right now. If Kevin doesn't take him, or Sack doesn't take him, which I'm assuming he won't, I will be taking him. I don't think let me make sure to tell Sack 333 filled so that he knows and doesn't miss it. All right, Kevin. Well, if you have 30 minutes, then I mean, you should be good. You should be fine. I'm glad that we all collaborated and got this in. You know, I wanted this to be our free agency day treat, and therefore we shall be treating ourselves to a high stakes fantasy football draft on March 9th. All right. Well, now the sweat's on to see how many people are auto drafting. My plan for this draft would probably be to try and get, I would really like to have 2 running backs after my first 2 picks so that I can loosen it up a little bit, because I feel a lot better about the late wide receivers. I'm a little worried about getting frame mogged at quarterback here, though, because let me tell you what I don't want to do in a draft where I am spending 333 DraftKings dollars is I don't want my quarterback room to be Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, and Aaron Rodgers. That much I feel pretty good about. As always, it will be a vibes-based side kicking. And I'm picking, there are multiple sidekick users in this draft. So it looks like I am going to get Jonathan Taylor to start on this one, which is like, hey, could be worse, could be better. Ooh, no, McCaffrey. All right, so Shady took Jonathan Taylor. So I prefer McCaffrey to Taylor. Ken Walker at 7 would have been a good bit. So Good starts out with Puka. Shady starts out JT. Wow, Kevin. Look at this guy. Kevin believes in something. He just took Ashton Genty at the 1.8. I think we should all give Kevin a golf clap. That's a man who says what he believes what he says, and does what he says. And honestly, I can see a very real scenario where with enough, training camp buzz and hype, I think we could get to a spot where that just ends up being something close to his ADP. Not gonna say 100%, but I can see it. I mean, Genty should have. Has any player improved their circumstances more than Ashton Genty this offseason? He's got a head coach upgrade. He's got an offensive line upgrade. He's got a quarterback upgrade. He's got a teammate upgrade. I'm all in. I'm all in on Genty. Terrible airplane Wi-Fi, and I see Kevin taking Genty at 7. Am I dreaming? You're not. Oh yes, yeah. You're more of a strategy drafter. like Buck. What a guy. What a guy. All right. All right. Come on, guys. Let me do it. Let me frame Mog. Let me frame Mog myself. It's gonna be a big sweat. Is Kevin gonna do it? Kevin might take him. Oh, let's go. Bam, bam, bam. First high stakes draft of the year. Let's go. That made me that's filling me with joy. I put on for my guys the Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker start. Kenneth Walker over Barkley all day. There we go. Kenneth Walker is going to have 264 rushes, 1,400 rushing yards, 32 receptions for 318 yards, and 19 touchdowns. Do I want to take 20th round Kareem Hunt? Maybe. CMC K9 start in 2026. The olds, you would be proud to see my growth. I wonder if you could transport my consciousness back to the version of myself that had just started streaming in 2024, and you showed me my feelings about these drafts. I really wonder. I would honestly probably be a little bit disappointed. Yes. Absolutely no bias. No bias at all towards that Kansas City Chiefs K9 projection. God, if Samaj Pirine signs with the Chiefs, worst case scenario. I mean, Kareem Hunt re-signing is definitely bad for him. Do not get me wrong. If you are a K9 drafter, if you just perhaps maybe took Kenneth Walker with the third pick or the in your second round pick in a high stakes fantasy football draft in March, you should be worried about the presence of Kareem Hunt. God, do I have it in me to take Rashi? I don't think I do. I don't. I really don't think I can do it. Gosh. Okay. Well, Shady did it and saved me anyways. So I can take Etienne. I can take Jacobs. Who's top on the kick? Top on the kick is Jacobs. Is that what I want to do? Not really. I don't really want to take Jacobs. You know what? We're zigging. I'm going to take Kyron Williams. No, I'm the only left-wing slappy who likes Kyron Williams. I'm his last defender. But I'm happy. I'm honestly happy to be on his side. I'm squinting hard enough to turn Brashard into McKinnon. Hey, they were both positional converts in college. They were both very athletic. They both did very little as rookies. Jerick McKinnon's rookie season, I mean, I wonder, did he even play? Jerick McKinnon might have not even played as a rookie. He went to Georgia. He went to a Georgia Southern, and he was a triple option quarterback. Jerick McKinnon's rookie season, he had 140 touches, 673 yards, and 0 tuds. People forget. No, I don't want to take Josh Allen in a format like this. I'm more hip to the mid-round quarterbacks here. Yes, never let them know where you're snacking from. You know, the issue with this draft is that I know that both Sacrilegious and Shady are going to have Mahomes really high in their queue. So I might not be able to get my guy Mahomes uncontested in this draft, which is a bummer. People forget the Matt Asiata touchdown season. It was really something else. I once late swapped into a Matt Asiata 3-touchdown game in cash games, and I'll never ever forget how special of a moment that was for me. Okay, McCaffrey, Walker, Kyron, and this is going to line right up for me to slap even harder as I select Luther Burden III over Garrett Wilson, over Devontae Adams, and I'm just going to let Shady Advice get the huge ADP value on Garrett Wilson. Going to let Shady get his top click right there. Luther Burden, wide receiver 1, because I'm a man, much like Kevin, I'm a man who believes what he says what he believes, and does what he says. I believe that Luther Burden is a huge, huge, huge winner. I believe that Caleb Williams is good. I believe that fantasy football doesn't have to be that hard. I think sometimes you can just buy guys like that who are on the ascendancy. Luther Burden is clearly on the ascendancy in fantasy football, and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Luther Burden. And I also think in this room, there's a decent chance I'm able to get a good price on Caleb Williams. I could see Caleb Williams being a random faller in this one. And if that is the case, I would like to slurp that Dipperino. Yeah, of course Shady is cooking. Shady is always cooking because he is doing what we all know. I would say a great way to think about what the sidekick does is if you were to just draft off the sidekick, you would be constantly drafting teams that are what you know you should be doing, but can't get yourself to actually do, if that makes sense. And maybe that doesn't make any sense to you, but I know when I draft off the sidekick, it is always, well, there you go. Byshell Tootin at 49. Byshell Tootin at 49 in the $333 DraftKings Combine. There you go. David Montgomery at 50. So this is some pretty, what would you say? I mean, this would be high signal information. All right. Well, what am I going to do? Am I going to try and get a wide receiver here? Sidekick wants me to just keep going in on running back because it does this a lot. It kind of just has you ignore whole positional groups, which I don't even think is wrong. And I find it sort of interesting. But I am going to take Carnell Tate because I am less satisfied with some of these mid-tier running backs. There you go. Mike Evans to pick 54. Yeah, true. Only 42 entries in this contest. And it's a really small, so the 333 is a really small contest in general. Only it's like, I think it's only 834 entries in this contest total. Oh, see, I kind of like the format. I don't know, maybe I'm a simpleton though. So I guess the question I've got to ask myself is, do I want to try and get Caleb Williams with this next pick or really try and play chicken? So the Lamar drafters to my left, the Burrow drafters to my left. Where is the Rome? So the Rome drafter, if he doesn't take Caleb, it will basically be someone having to take an unstacked Caleb, which is not bad. Oh, if I widen the sidekick, it will show the format. All right. There you go. Rankings updated 1 pick ago. Round advancement 2 of 12, 2 of 8, 2 of 7, 4-seat final. Learn something new about the kick every day. Hey, $333. Let me tell you, I'll bite your arm off for $20K at the end of the year. You know, we all know you get to the end of the year in fantasy football, and you are just hoping and begging and praying for a good finish in one of these finals. All right, not really interested in Harvey here. Not really interested in Watson. I mean, okay, I didn't think Watson would actually get to me. All right, well, there you go. Don't have the option to take Caleb Williams either. Marvin Harrison Jr. could be kind of interesting here, but I just don't think that. I don't know. I have a hard time. I have a hard time with Marvin Harrison Jr. All right, well, Tyler Warren could be an option. Fannin could be an option. Harvey. Do I really want to take Harvey here? I don't. Honestly, the answer is no, I don't. Let's take Jaylen Warren. Let's take newly crowned Pittsburgh Steelers running back Jaylen Warren, and we're really gonna have to fill it in at running back later. Willis not ending up in Arizona is bullish for Marv. I suppose that is. All right, let's see what Sack has got cooking here. So Sack has James Cook, Trey McBride, Breece Hall, Travis Etienne Jr., Scadaboo. So he was doing a lot of Dipperino slurping. Actually, Dipperino slurping on Scadaboo, but just a higher ranking for Etienne. Shady has Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Rashee Rice, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans. He bought the RJ Harvey Dipperino. Goods has Puka with Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, J-Mo, Emeka Igbuka, and Tyler Warren. And my guy Dorito, Bijan, Nico, Olave, McLaurin, David Montgomery, Cortland, Sutton. Hey, everyone's having a good draft. Appreciating everyone's hard work. Monty is 2026 Javonte Williams. I believe it. I believe you. I certainly do believe that could be the case. Allgeier in Arizona made me so happy. And round 18 Benson. I will not be taking round 18 Benson. I don't think you might be alone on that one, Benny. Jags are taking offers for BTJ. Are they? I mean, they very well might be. I don't know. It doesn't feel all that likely to me. Why would they do that? Why would the Jaguars do that? There's got to be enough smoke to the fire, but it just doesn't ring very true to me. I would not trade him. I guess I would say that. If I was James Gladstone, I would only trade him if basically his teammates hated him. If his teammates hated him, then sure, I'd be like, all right, man, you gotta get out. All right. I'm gonna really need a wide receiver here. Mahomes got drafted. God, what do I want to do? All right, we'll take Rizzy P. Because I'm feeling I could maybe set up a Purdy thing here. So we'll do Rizzy P, my guy Razor P. Sure, yes, if you can get a haul, of course. Yeah, if you can get a first plus for him, then sure, absolutely. I'm totally cool with that. But I like a round 2 pick, you get 47th overall. I don't know about that. Just would be my opinion. Just my opinion. But I don't know personally about that. All right. So I've got Purdy live. Caleb Williams is not live. So my stacking options are running thin. So maybe we're going to have to do some back stacking. $30-year-old Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington. Yeah, I mean, BTJ is the most irreplaceable style of player in that room. Doesn't mean he is totally irreplaceable, but certainly the most irreplaceable style. Okay. What are we going to do here? I could just take Purdy here. What are the chances Purdy gets back to me at 103? Probably pretty light. I have 2 49ers. I think I got to just bite the bullet. I honestly maybe even slightly prefer Jackson Dart. Hey, he's going to keep ducking and diving, Chad. He is going to keep ducking and diving. Our boy Byshell Tootin to the moon. All right, we are up in 2 picks. I am just going to bite the bullet on Purdy if no one takes him. Whose role does Naylor hurt in Las Vegas? I mean, I guess Dante Thornton. I don't know. Everyone there, the Vegas wide receivers are going to kind of up and flux. All right, there we go. So we at least have one starting quarterback. Dart goes. We got Purdy at 8.6. Parker Washington is a ball player. That's true. I'm not gonna disregard. Yeah, I guess the answer is nobody, because he's Jalen Naylor. Does Theo Johnson stay as the tight end 1? I wouldn't think so. I would think Likely is a better receiving tight end, more likely to be used in that way. Theo Johnson was honestly like never even really a receiving tight end, even when he was at Penn State. He's like a giant guy, Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson is like, he's like 6'4", like 250. He's a huge dude. All right, McCaffrey, Walker, Kyron, Burden, Tate, Warren, Pearsall, Purdy. I can kind of go in any direction at this next pick. I mean, it'd be very on brand to take Worthy. Sidekick is definitely not going to tell me to take Worthy. Could do Gadsden, who I do really like, although the Kalar thing is like not great for him, right? I mean, all things considered, you would say it's not the ideal. Well, okay, so here's the 2v2. Here's the 2v2, Brian. Brock Purdy and Kyron Williams versus Rico Dowdle and Josh Allen. I'm taking Purdy Kyron all day, personally. After all the past Likely slander. Well, fair enough. Although Theo Johnson is not, Theo Johnson is not Mark Andrews. All due respect. All due respect. Well, do I want to take Wandale? Maybe. Okay, I was going to say Wandale actually good fit for this team. Pittman Jr., if I'm doing the Pittsburgh thing, is not terrible. Maybe I just take 4 tight ends on this team and just kind of have tight end work as my flex. Addison could be okay. Sidekick wants me to take another quarterback, which means that Sack is probably, Sack will probably take one of my guys. Do I want Jordan Love? I don't really. I think less chance of Mayfield. God, no. Do I want Baker Mayfield? That is the question. I don't really. I don't. Let's take Godwin first and then see what happens. I think higher chance of Baker getting back to me, but we'll find out. Shuck Juwan definitely in play. Hey, we're gonna figure this out at the quarterback position, and maybe I'll just get snapped all the way through. You never know. But I think I played that correctly in the sense that more likely that Godwin was going to go than Baker because there was more wide receiver values. Although maybe I should have just taken Baker because I'm fine to take Xavier Worthy. His Michael Pittman Jr., I guess Michael Pittman Jr.'s ADP has not changed much. Dewalian, I got you next time. I just closed that tab. Otherwise I would, but I just closed that tab because I forgot we were still in that draft. All right, Baker goes. So snapped off on Baker, but somewhat of a recovery in this wide receiver room. Burden, Tate, Pearsall, Godwin. I think a decent recovery there. Honestly, maybe the mistake pick was actually Jalen Warren. And maybe I should have just taken Drake May instead. I could definitely buy that. Yeah, I have seen this tweet going around. The Steelers drafted Kenny Pickett because he went to Pitt, hired Mike McCarthy because he's from Pittsburgh, and have now acquired Michael Pittman Jr., whose name is literally Pittman. Facts. All right. Well, all of you guys are going to hate this and say that it's bad and say that it's stupid and just, want to say that I'm dumb and stupid. But I'm about to take a quarterback in the 10th round who's short, who just got cut and plays a lot of Call of Duty. And you can hate it or love it, but we are welcoming Kyler Murray to the team to join our quarterback room of Brock Purdy. Beautiful. Chiefs most likely pick at 9 now. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go to the PFF. Is there a mock draft simulator? Mock draft simulator. and I'm going to take over the Chiefs. I'm going to enter the draft, and I'm going to say care about positional value, draft for needs, less randomness. Round 1. I'm going to click start draft. If they could get this David Bailey guy, smash. Honestly, these are all great picks. Wow. What an embarrassment of riches to be able to get Caleb Downs, to be able to get Spencer Fano or Monroe Feeling. I mean, absolute freaking smash show, dude. Let the NFL draft play out exactly like this. I dare you. I dare the NFL draft. Super Bowl. 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls in a row, if that's what the Chiefs can get at 9. No, I don't think Jeremiah Love is going to fall out of the top 10. He could, but I don't think he will. If they get any good tackle, the NFL should just be so embarrassed. Any good tackle and the Chiefs are laughing, dude. Just really any good big guy, even if it's a defensive lineman, just absolute huge win for them as a team. Or Downs. I mean, give me Downs, bro. Whatever. I don't remember what the stake was, but I bet whatever was needed to win $1,000 on the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl at the DK Sportsbook odds. So I want to say it was maybe $55. I think sounds about right. Oh man, we are about to slap it up in a DK 333. Don't do it. Shady's gonna take Goddard here. Bang! Ooh, slap me like a seal. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end 1. Kenyon Sadiq. The Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs again. Sure, bro. Sure they will. Totally, Joey. They're totally going to miss the playoffs. Who knows? Who knows about what's happening with Rashi? Who knows? Nobody knows. I don't know. You don't know. NFL doesn't know. Rashi doesn't know. Rashi's partner who he abused doesn't know. No one knows. Because the fact that it is a civil case instead of a criminal case just kind of mucks the whole thing up. All right, where are we at? We are through 11 rounds with this team. We have Brock Purdy with Christian McCaffrey. We have Kenneth Walker, Luther Burden III, Carnell Tate, Ricky Pearsall with Brock Purdy, Kenyon Sadiq, Kyron Williams, Jalen Warren, Chris Godwin, and Kyler Murray. So maybe I actually will take the Sidekicks recommendation to take TJ Hawkinson this time. K9 Sadiq stack? What if? Ooh, do we think the mobile game that Rashee Rice will not stop shilling on Instagram, do you think they know? They're probably the most likely people to know because Rashee is probably like, dude, I don't have any money. They're not going to give me a second contract. What teams do we like Sadiq for the most? I mean, the 49ers feels pretty good. We can check out grinding the mocks and see what his most common landing spot is. Oh, we're on the clock. Tight end, Strange. Strange feels okay. Yeah, sure. Brendan Strange. Why not? Solidify our tight end room there a little bit. Paying his legal fees with site money from the app. All right, grinding the mocks, expected draft position, player charts. We'll do Kenyon Sadiq. Oh, this doesn't have most likely. Deselect all, tight end. Expected draft position of 13.9. It's not showing me the team, though. No most common Sadiq spot there. So maybe there's one on Tankathon. Let me go look. Or I'll look on a mock draft database, actually. Strange over Kelsey. I think I just momentarily lost my mind. You always got to get genty, Kevin, and I appreciate you helping us fill this draft, Kevin. Of all things. Never let it be said that Kevin is not down to help a friend in need. All right, most likely the most common mock spot for Kenyon Sadiq, according to mock draft database, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which feels wrong to me. All right. Well, you win some, you lose some. Taking Brenton Strange over Kelsey, that's gonna be an L. That's gonna be an L. Yeah, welcome back, OJ Howard. Welcome back, Eric Ebron. Welcome back, Noah Fant. We missed you. Well, damn, Travis Hunter went. That is tilting. Hunter went. There's nothing here at running back. Denzel Boston. Should I just take Shaheed for the vibes? You know what? I'm gonna take Mark Andrews. Let's just dust it up at tight end. That's a good tight end room. Those wide receivers were all the same. I just don't. Denzel Boston, Omar Cooper Jr. What's the point? It's the same. Shady is draft mugging us. Yeah, as always. Not surprising. Shady, that's what he does. He is a draft mugger. Good to see the sidekick is programmed for defensive players too. Dude, I can't believe you were taking a quarterback in the 4th round of fantasy football drafts, brother. I can. All right. So we need one more quarterback. Our running backs are actually quite good. And I need like some stabs at wide receiver is what is needed now. So I need like some variance embracing. So like Tyreek honestly would not be terrible here. Tank Dell would not be terrible here. I might even want to do like 9 wide receivers on this team because I can definitely be done at tight end. And hopefully with that group of tight ends, you would hope that I will be getting a decent amount of contribution in the flex from them. I don't know. Maybe I should have taken whoever, Ayuk, Boston, Cooper. Dude, so true. How good would Hunter have been on that crazy Jags hot streak? He would have been awesome. All right, we are gonna actually do like a. Oh, dude. Okay, I'm sweating. I really do not want one of these wide receivers on my screen to go. And Kevin is gonna do it to me. He's gonna rip my heart out. He's gonna just stab an ice pick so it's gonna hurt. Please don't do it, Kevin. Kevin, take a quarterback. Don't take Rashid Shaheed, Kevin. I'm begging you. He's going to do it. Oh, God. And he snuck the clock down. Horrible. All right. Well, I'm going to take Jerry Jeudy, which is just not really sure there's going to be a worse feeling than that. He did it. I mean, I think so my read on Dubs, AJ, is that I think this is my conspiracy theory. Mike Evans thought he was re-signing in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay told him they weren't going to give him enough money. Mike Evans' people had probably been in touch with the 49ers. The 49ers probably didn't think they were going to be able to sign him. So when the 49ers realized that they could sign Mike Evans, they were like, Romeo Dubs, thank you for your services. We don't need you anymore. We got Hall of Famer Mike Evans. So Mike Evans got Romeo Doubs' spot, basically. And so I think Doubs was expected to be signed today. And now that's not going to happen. And I don't think Doubs is going to be a 49er. That was like supposed to be like 99% done. And turns out that it was not done. I mean, I'm assuming that a good chunk of Mike Evans's contract is totally fake. Cannot be it's not a real 3-year deal. It's probably 1 year guaranteed with like some team options and some void years and some unguaranteed stuff or whatever. All right. Well, Tank Dell could tie the room together a little bit. Oh, rip Alvin Kamara. All right. Well, let's just hope that Tank Dell's leg. Oh, damn. Except Shady's gonna take Tank Dell right here. Nope. All right. Bang. There you go. Got her done. All right. So we got a 2-4-6-3 with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker III, Luther Burden III, third maxing, Carnell Tate, Ricky Pearsall, Kenyon City, Kyron Williams, Jalen Warren, Chris Godwin Jr., Kyler Murray, Brenton Strange, Mark Andrews, Jerry Jeudy, Tank Dell. Are there any other notable NFL players whose last names have the 3 Roman numeral in them? Are there any other players with the 3rd Roman numeral? Dubs is going to go to Tennessee. Well, yeah, but Chris Brazzell, Kenneth Walker, who I also have, Calvin Austin III, David Sills is the 5th, right? It's David Sills the 5th, I think. All right. Trey Harris actually fits this build. All right. Adonai Mitchell. I would actually love Adonai Mitchell on this team. Said no one ever but me. Ooh, Efton Chisholm. Stowers just went 171 to Goods. Wow. Where does Goods get his ideas? Hey, Goods, where do you get your ideas, brother? Need to find yourself a new YouTube channel. Where do you get your ideas? Robert Griffin III, Ricky White III, Ray McLeod III. I believe John Mechie. I think it's John Mechie the 4th. John Mechie. John Mechie the 3rd. There are a lot of 3rds. There are a lot of guys who are Roman numeral 3 in the NFL. Did Adam Randall just go 172? This guy's a ball knower. That guy is pure ball knowing knowledge. All right. Well, here we go. Let's do ourselves. Ooh, I do like Zachariah Branch, but Sidekick is saying Sarat. You know what? Fuck it. We ball. Adonai Mitchell in a $333 draft. You know what? Honestly, this is totally valid. I did draft the worst. I drafted the worst version of the rookie tight end 4 rounds earlier. I did. I like truly believe that. I really think that Stowers is better than Sadiq. Famous last words, I guess, but I that is my honest to God belief. Adonai Mitchell for the Kyler Jet stack. Alex, you solved it, bro. You solved it. You guys ever notice that a Diet Coke can matches perfectly with a Kansas City Chiefs jersey? Kansas City Chiefs home whites. Beautiful. All right. Well, now oh my God. All right. Dorito, you're on my shit list, bro. Snapping off Keaton Mitchell at 191. Shit list, Dorito. That is uncalled for, bro. That was unnecessary. You knew what you were doing. That is an all-time. I gotta get the EV from these idiot streamers. Gosh darn it. All right, I actually have a new pick that I think is quite sneaky. Wait till you watch Stowers. Exactly is a great YouTube name, but wait till you watch Stowers. You're going to be like, holy shit, this dude is awesome. Oh, and he went. Did he go to Shady? Where did he go? Where did Devin Neal go? No, he didn't go. Devin Neal. I think if Kamara's going to retire and he's behind Etienne, I think Devin Neal is a smash. It'll never be Marshawn Lloyd. It will never, ever be Marshawn Lloyd. I think Devin Neal, huge winner, actually. Because it's down to just him and Etienne. No, Kendre Miller is Kendre Miller, I think, is a free agent. I think Kendre Miller is not a free agent. So Kendre Miller's not a free agent. So never mind. Take back everything I just said. You know what? I'm fine to erase Audric Estime. I'm intimately familiar with Audric Estime's work. Estime stinks. Estime is not. He's just not really an NFL player. He's fine. He's big. It's all I got on him is he's big. Neal I really liked as a prospect. So it's hard for me to give up on those guys that I really like as prospects. What if Devin Neal is this year's Byshell Tootin, but there's only 2 running backs in the backfield? Have you guys thought about that? Estime has his whole life ahead of him. Emmanuel Wilson, I mean, he probably just re-signs with the Packers for less money. Estime embarking on that A.J. Dillon career where we say he's bad every summer, then he plays more than we would like. Except A.J. Dillon was like a legit sleeper. People liked A.J. Dillon back in the day. All right. Well, missed out on, Kevin took my guys, Terrence Ferguson and Gunnar Helm. So Gino goes, I'm getting frame mugged. I guess I knew this was going to happen drafting with all regs, but I am getting absolutely can't even get Rodgers. All right, we're just going to take Tua. There you go. Tua Tagovailoa in the 18th round. This did not exactly go how I thought it was going to go. Not that I dislike this team, but this snipe right here, Shaheed snipe right here. And honestly, this decision right here, what I should have done is I should have taken Baker, and then I should have tried to push Godwin around because there was a decent chance that I could have gotten Godwin around. The Kendre Miller year 14 breakout. This is a very, very apt comment from Seth. The Saints do just have a dynasty bro backfield. They need to get Jeremy McNichols in there as a special teamer, I think. I'm telling you, you hate the team worse with Josh Allen. It's so hard to spend a 3rd round pick. You're telling me you're taking Josh Allen over Kyron, over Jacobs, over Brees, over Flowers. When you can get Josh here, I agree. But the 3rd round for Josh, and you still want to take 3. Yeah, I loved A.J. Dillon too. I once traded Dalton Schultz and a 2nd round pick for A.J. Dillon in one of my dynasty leagues that I care about the most. Oh, did Kamara go? Who took Kamara? Got to be an auto drafting situation. Alvin Kamara went to Kevin. Kevin, bro, Kamara retired. Well, Kevin is he's at work right now, and I bet he just had to like talk to his boss and he got auto drafted. That stinks. Running back is looking pretty. I mean, Tank I don't hate here. Halan. Oh, Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon. If the Dolphins are going to tank to end the season again, just turn it over to Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon, pretty good round 19, 20 pick, I think. Is Kamara confirmed retired? Multiple sources said it, but Kamara didn't say anything himself. Alvin Kamara retire. Ryan DePaul. Looks like no official confirmation yet. But that is what sources are saying. Maybe Kamara is on the Phillip Rivers plan. Hey, could be. Bigsby over Gordon. I can see that. I don't hate Tank Bigsby. I don't think he's a fine click. Kamara is the 2026 version of people thinking they won all the money for loading up on Keenan Allen. Well, if he plays. Yeah, I guess Kamara retired is more speculation. Yes. More speculation than real life fact, which I guess is what we're doing here. What can you say? All right. Let's end this draft. We have got a 3-6-7-3. We definitely need another wide receiver. Our running backs are fine. So if I want to take, there's no 49er. Do I want to try and take a Falcon? There's not really a Falcon. Do I even like any of these guys? You know what? Deion Burks. Got to have a brand guy. Deion Burks, I think, is going to get pretty surprising draft capital. Ooh, I should have taken Jalen Royals, and I'm never ever taking this guy. All right, there we go, fellas. We have got Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker, Luther Burden, Carnell Tate, Ricky Pearsall, Kenyon Sadiq, Kyron Williams, Jalen Warren, Chris Godwin Jr., Kyler Murray, Brenton Strange, Mark Andrews, Jerry Jeudy, Tank Dell, Adonai Mitchell, Devin Neal, Tua Tagovailoa, Ollie Gordon, and Deion Burks. That was a very fun day of drafting and of streaming. Love that. And let's go ahead and end. Let's see if I can redeem myself from the other day. Let's play Soccer Dave's school match. Oh shit, I already started it. I gotta leave. Whoop. All right. Damn it. I already started it. Whatever. I gotta quit. Okay. So this is the yes, I'm gonna have an underdog and a DraftKings rankings update this afternoon. All right. Got my name in. We're going to play Soccer Dave's school match game. And I'm going to try and break my own high score. Let's go. All right. Darius Slayton, Auburn. Will Levis, Kentucky. Trey Palmer, Nebraska. Caleb Williams, USC. Jeremy Langford went to Michigan State. Isaiah Bond went to Texas. D.D. Westbrook went to Oklahoma. Devin Achane went to Texas A&M. Brian Embers went to South Carolina. Michael Wilson went to Stanford. Oh, I didn't click it. I did it again. All right, I'm quitting and starting over. Because I did it again. All right. Stop clicking too fast, Davis. School match. Start. All right, Trey Benson went to Florida State. Randall Cobb went to Kentucky. Brian Robinson Jr. went to Alabama. Rex Burkhead went to Nebraska. Bijan Robinson went to Texas. Travis Etienne went to Clemson. Jalen Hyatt went to Tennessee. Semi Fehoko went to, Kiki Kuti went to Texas Tech. DK Metcalf went to Ole Miss. So Semi Fehoko went to Stanford. I clicked, lock it in. Okay. Click it, lock it in. Done. Bang. finish. All right. Dalton Kincaid, Desmond Ridder went to Cincinnati. Dalton Kincaid went to Utah. DJ Giddens went to Kansas State. Raheem Mostert went to Purdue. A.T. Perry went to, I got to come back to that one. Kendre Miller went to TCU. Jalen Strong went to Arizona State. Jamison Crowder went to Duke. Chase Brown went to Illinois. Isaiah Pacheco went to Rutgers. A.T. Perry went to Wake Forest. All right, 27 seconds. 27 seconds. I got to click all the buttons on the last one. Don't mess up. Final tier. All right. David Johnson went to, there's a lot of schools here. Went to Northern Iowa. Harold Fannin went to Bowling Green. Austin Eckler went to a directional Colorado school. I got to go back to it. Adam Thielen went to Minnesota State. Jay Ajayi went to Boise State. Tyreek Hill went to Eastern something. He went to West Alabama. Austin Eckler went to Western Colorado. Rashad Penny went to San Diego State. Jared Goff went to Cal. Where did Tajay Sharp go? Massachusetts. Keyshawn Johnson, I honestly forget. I think Fresno State. Quez Watkins went to Southern Miss. Nyheim Hines went to North Carolina. NC State. Oh, NC State, not North Carolina, Davis. Come on, man. Come on. I knew that. I knew he didn't go to North Carolina. I think the best pull was remembering that Keyshawn Johnson went to Fresno State. I think that was pretty good. Who is Ketchup? Ketchup has got to be a cheater. Who is Ketchup? Show yourself. 549. Get out of here. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe for daily fantasy football videos. And I will be back with all of you guys tomorrow.